evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Raleigh Major here in, of course, Raleigh, North Carolina, in these United States of America. I'm Ghassan Melchthematic Finch, your host for the event here on the analyst desk. Yesterday, we had a very exciting day number 4 of the Major. We went in with 8 teams. We were left with 4 at the end. And it's all 4 European teams, cementing yet again their position in competitive play. North America's 2 hopes, the Space Station and TSM, are out. FaZe Clan out as well. Now we see, the start of the semifinals day, how things will go. Though, before we start off with the actual analysis, it's time for the pre-show and a recap of what happened yesterday. Play number 4. Welcome to day 4 of the Raleigh Major.
North Carolina, are you ready? The first match of the Raleigh Major starts right now.
With 3 people still alive from 4s. This could be a tricky spot from the Giants, and they're gonna have to take chances. Oh, but WTG is there, along with Karma, and it's all Corey. But WTG shuts the door.
It feels actually amazing. I'm so happy to be in the semis as a CL team. I mean, it's just insane.
It is now time to begin the second match of the Raleigh Major.
Wants to get a plant down inside a default. Fockers with another one onto Thinking Nade. Now the man advantage well in the favor. Oh my God, what a shot to the wall. Fockers with the one tap through conference, leaving Chaw alone now in a 1v3 post plant scenario.
My initial thoughts after the game pretty much went as expected. We did a lot of VOD reviewing last night. We knew exactly the type of playstyle that they had. We knew exactly how to counter it, and we executed it quite well.
David versus Goliath matchup, and for FaZe Clan, a huge opportunity to fell the beast known as Team Empire.
Bad timing there from Ion, but he has control of the diffuser. He's being shot from above. The angle is in for Joystick, but he misses the shots. Oh no, Joystick! It's a stick, but off comes Ion, and Dan, the hero of the round.
After the clubhouse, we understood why we lost. So on Consulate, we continued to play more aggressive, to take like more gunfights, risky gunfights. Yeah, that was the plan for Consulate. So we were kind of sure that we anyways gonna win that match.
It's your final match of the day, G2 TSM.
The rest of G2 now poised inside of side as Goga's going for a stroll over towards the aviator door. Pengu will actually take down Biologic, so all of a sudden this becomes easier. This is a 2 versus 2. Pengu with the support as Goga takes down 1. It's all to Pojo, and Pengu once again, the team play from G2.
We're going to face 2 Russian teams. That's my prediction of the other semifinal, and well, we're going to kill the Russians in our game. I don't think anyone can take us on a best of 5, so I wish Empire good luck in the final.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've had an explosive 4 days, and day number 5 here, the semifinals, gentlemen. Welcome back, please, to the analyst desk. Ghassan Melchthematic Finch here. With me are 2 beautiful, beautiful gentlemen here. It's Zoronic Veli, Mr.
180. That was so.
That was 180.
Body.
Bikini body right now. Is sitting at home in Sweden, and he's so proud of you, Veli.
Thank you.
He's got the weave. He's got the analysis. Got the energy. He's got it all.
Oh, yeah.
What do we not have on this desk, gentlemen?
Rams, yeah, because I bodied them. But this upcoming match, I'm so excited. So I ran back from my, the show match, and this is the match that we've all been waiting for. Team Empire, they have been struggling. They look human now, and they're going against Team Secret, who all of a sudden look like gods again. And that inconsistency is starting to tilt more on the godly end than, the lesser end, which knocked them into CO.
Yeah, Empire yesterday looked mortal in their game against FaZe. Is it something that you can recover from easily, Alex?
I mean, let's be fair. The only time we've really seen them look or have a weakness this entire event was on Clubhouse. It was that one map where they actually looked like they were possibly gonna lose, right?
It's Clubhouse.
Yeah, their best map. They've widened their map pool. They have to, because if they want to get ready for BO5, then being Empire and only playing 3 maps is just not enough.
No.
I don't know. I think they took that victory harder than most teams took their losses. So I expect them to be full back.
Well, let's take a look at the bracket here and recap where we've gone so far in the event before we dig deeper into our first matchup. We'll see Forest versus Vodafone Giants. Vodafone kind of upsetting everybody in the way that they played, and it's just Forest that moved through. They play against G2, who bodied TSM in the second quarterfinal. Quarterfinal number 3, Space Station versus Secret, and as well, Secret were able to play the 4th map that they ever played in this entire major, and they're able to make it through in a 2-0 as well, eliminating North America from the event. Team Empire versus FaZe Clan, our closest game in this tournament so far, pretty much went the distance. In map number 3, 7-4 victory at the end for Team Empire on Consulate. Something we did not expect at all was that second map. So let's talk about it for a moment here. If you're watching this as FaZe Clan, how difficult does it have to be to go back home, tail between your legs, knowing that you got so close, yet we're so far?
I mean, it's extremely unfortunate, man, the way that they lost, especially as the last Latin American team in this tournament. You know, them losing against Empire sucked, but it's glass half full. You're going to have to look at the positives about it. They took them down to the wire. They took Forest down to the wire, and they exposed a lot of weaknesses that Team Empire had, you know. Team Empire, they really weren't built for the long game. They really had to struggle to clutch it out to get those wins, especially from that last shot by Shepard.
We actually have a player to highlight here. It's Lems. We'll put him up on the board and talk about him. Former teammate, I guess, here in the squad. So you see Lems, 1.08 rating. Pretty good on the opening kills, 4 plants, no disables yet. But Lems has been a strong backbone of Team Secret, Alex.
Yeah, and he has some experience going all the way back from year 1. I mean, he used to be one of the best anchors we had in EU. Put him on an ACOG and no one was getting through that entrance, and you pretty much had to find another way. If you go all the way back, I think he's dropped 18 kills on LAN in one match before, so.
You've also spoken about a road change that he's had to where, you know, he sits back and, you know, he doesn't care about the stardom and the big plays. He's really just that rock for that team.
Yeah, but so they pulled in some new players on the team. That means somebody's going to have to budge and change up the roles a little bit, right? We've seen the same with Meepy, Leon taking some of the IGLing. You get Funkus in. Like, somebody's got to swap roles. We can't have 5 fraggers on a team just all running out there to try and get all the kills, right?
No, Obey Alliance tried that last year.
Fair enough.
Somebody still has that flare on Reddit. I roasted them for that one time. Like, it's hilarious. It's the best thing I've ever done on that website. But, Valley, yesterday I was talking to Emzo when we were sitting here and analyzing through how Empire play and how they're able to bait their opponents in when they go for a plant. Can you elaborate more on that?
So one thing that I really love, a lot of teams, especially on maps, let's look at Cafe, for example. A lot of teams, they really don't have a strong presence up top floor. And going against Space Station, we know that they swarm through that 3rd floor to clear out the roamers. But with Feral and Fonkers there, especially that roaming Jaeger, they were able to exhaust so much utility from Space Station Gaming. It's basically like a boxing match. They wear him out, just little by little. That last round, they hit him with that KO to get the easy win. That's why I kind of feel like Team Secret kind of has the upper hand. Because if they can continue that fight to wear down Empire, I don't know how Empire's going to fight back. You can only clutch for so long.
Yeah, well, we got clutch player up here to talk about. It's Dan from Team Empire. And here he is. The man definitely has shown up quite a bit. Not really the best when it comes to opening kills, but that's a pretty darn high rating, 1.24. Pretty much present in every single round with effects all over. This is the man that clutched it out of Milan. He's the one that did it here against FaZe Clan as well in their game. Shepard was the last man alive that got the kill. This was the one. This player. The one that's facilitated it.
While he hasn't done too hot in opening kills, he's done really well in refragging and making sure that when the other team got opening kills, that it didn't set them back too far, right? So you can almost say that it's equally as important to just make sure that you get the refrag as if you get the opening kill. And one of the weaknesses we've seen with Empire is that if you can manage to get a 1-up on them, so you play in a 5v4 and you then just fall back, you don't contest anything, you reset the whole match and on defense, then they struggle and they're going to start running out of time.
And that's something that Secret are actually brilliant at doing. You're explaining Cafe, but it was the same in pretty much every part of their game in Space Station.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you deal with the way that Secret maneuvers around, especially having Fonkers and Feral that are kind of running the duo with the info from Leon?
So hopefully it's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation to where Empire, they can look past the struggles that they had, you know, back in the past and come brand new today. You go against Team Secret, you're just going to have to just come as a team. I mean, it's really that simple. You cannot fall early, like you said. You can't allow yourself to go down 4v5 and expect Dan to get that 3K to help you win the game again. That's not going to happen against Secret because Secret, they have playmakers of their own.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. So let's get the show on the road. Alex, Golden Boy, up to you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It is now time to start our first semifinal matchup here for Saturday. Who's excited to watch some Siege? Because I think I'm pretty pumped. Your first team to the stage had a dominating performance against North America yesterday, and they're looking to do the same thing here today. This is Team Secret.
I think during that match, SSG, they didn't really surprise us that very much. We did a lot of VOD reviewing and preparation for this match, so we pretty much knew exactly what was going to go down, all the way down to the map bans, the operator bans, and what kind of things that they would play and how they would play it. Ultimately, they didn't really surprise us in any way possible. I'm expecting to play Empire. They're one of the best teams in the world right now, one of the best teams in Europe right now. We have a lot of practice against them, so I'm very confident against them. Once again, don't underestimate us. Do your research. Not that it'll help, because we've been changing up everything as we go along. We're making sure that we're staying fresh. So no matter what kind of research you're doing, good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Team Secret! And now for your next team, while many consider them to be the best team in the world, they did have a barn burner of a matchup yesterday against one of the top flight Latin American teams. This is Team Empire.
We feel like we've more like we lost the game, not won. So we had a terrible performance on our best map. We lost like 1-7. So, and after that, like we are not feeling like we won the match. We're feeling like we lost. So. I don't think we will prepare something special. We will just try to analyze our mistakes and trying to get rest so we can be sure that we will be like in our best individual shape before the game. This tournament and the upcoming Pro League finals at the Invitational will decide who is the best now.
And now welcome your next team to the stage. It's Team Empire! So much on the line for both of these two teams, but only one can make it to our grand finals here at the Raleigh Major 2019. Is it going to be Team Secret? Is it going to be Team Empire? Oh boy, we're only going to find out in one way, and one way only. It's time to jump into the action. Ladies and gentlemen, the first matchup starts right now. Let's send it back over to the studio. Teams, take to the stage.
Thank you so much, Alex. And here we are, Team Secret versus Team Empire. Who would have thought, gentlemen, that Team Secret, a team that last year was in the semifinal of the Paris Major against G2, got knocked out, went all the way down back to CL, would qualify back through the Allied Major in Vegas, make it to the semis again in Raleigh, North Carolina. What does it take, Alex, to just get to this spot?
a massive amount of dedication. I mean, Helby's, their coach, has been extremely public about how they've had a rough patch. It's not been as easy for them. And a lot of people might be, I don't know if you can call it overly supportive, but they'll say that, well, you are a pro league team, you're pro players, and you know, give them a lot of credit, but sometimes it's nice to be held accountable for that drop in performance.
And one thing I also want to point out, people don't realize Team Secret, along with Na'Vi, was going ahead and they were dominating the land scene, the smaller lands over there in Europe. So Team Secret, along with Na'Vi, they were building themselves up, and Secret hit that moment to where they can come here and be a top 4 team. But take a look at these overall stats. Leon, this is the playmaker right here, man. All eyes are on him. Yes, Feral and Fonkers are a disgusting duo and an amazing addition to this roster, but Leon's going to be the scariest player on this roster.
Yeah, and we talked about Alems being the backbone. Meepy definitely is as well. Sitting on site, making sure everything's just held until the end. He's always the last line of defense. That's why, as you know, the resident smoke player, basically, he's the one with not the best stats. And that's okay, because if we compare the amount of times he's able to survive and do damage with his utility and coordinate between his teammates, this guy is doing it.
I mean, as long as you're winning, it doesn't really matter what the lowest stat denominator on your team is, because you know that might be the one that is actually making you win.
Yes.
The problem is if you start losing and you have a couple of people with not so hot stats.
A tough game here against Team Empire. Again, the Russians, big fan favorites, I guess, here in Raleigh. Shepard, Joystick, Dan, Scyther, and Karsheka. Scary team, to say the least, and entries from Joystick have been very plentiful, you see, with +6 on the opening kills. This man is the spearhead for every single assault, and Karsheka and Dan are always near him to either refrag or make sure that he's safe.
Okay, just notice the +23 KD on Dan.
That's insane.
I mean, Joystick is amazing, and he's at 11.
We see this coming into Milan, and then here the Major, we're like, okay, Joystick, 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 Joystick. And now we realize, okay, the star really has become Dan.
I don't say there's an individual star on this team, to be completely honest. You look at Scyther, Shepard, you know, all of them. It's a unit, it's a team, and that's why they've made it this far. And you know, you're gonna have to give a shout out to the coach as well.
Yeah, Razor GM here doing work, making sure his boys are set and ready. Of course, it's a different way to coach if you're a Russian man, basically, as I've heard from many people. But it is indeed different, and it works very well with the squad, as tell from the scoreline, as Flynn likes to call them over and over and over and over and over and over again, the Russian machine, Joystick, and his Russian squad. A team definitely to fear. You look at this Secret, what might be the real weakness that they have going up against Empire, Alex?
I think we can get back to the emotional stuff. We know that Empire is almost impossible to break emotionally. We've only really seen it in the best of 5. Even when they were down 7-1, they had focus on their faces. They didn't look like they were beat already in the clubhouse game. We've seen Secret struggle a little bit with the comebacks, or maybe get, you know, more in their own heads than they got in the enemies. So they really need a good start early on in the game, so they don't have to struggle with that mid game as well.
You know what? I don't think there's a weakness on Secret at all. I feel like this is going to be the team that I would definitely go for in my prediction. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, look at their energy and spirit in the matches that they played to take it this far. They dismantled Space Station Gaming. And Empire, on the other hand, you know, they're losing their best map. Matches are close. They look human. I feel like Team Secret being the underdog actually works out for them in this case.
Are you sure you're not being coerced by Sternop to say that?
No, I'm not. No, not at all.
Hey,
I really
heard
love
about
what I see
that
from
bet.
them. Yeah, I got to change my my Twitter handle to EU is the best. So.
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong at this point.
You know, hey, you know what? If Secret goes all the way, I'm gonna love it, man, because they deserve it. I've watched them at Allied, I watched them Prim and whatnot, battling it out against Na'Vi, like I said, and they're really the roster to beat in this matchup, in my opinion. Because, you know, listen, when your back's against the wall, you have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
You go all out. And I wouldn't want them to be in my corner.
And if Secret are all the way down, they're not even in Pro League at this point in time. They have Premiership, they have Challenger League, and some of the minors. This is the best that they can do. It's still pretty good to make it to the semis. There's no pressure at all, whereas Empire, they have a ton of that.
Yeah, so we got to remember that they're kind of fighting for different things. I know both teams, of course, want to win, and they both want to win the whole show. But Empire, the only thing they want to do is beat the best.
Yeah.
That's it. They're not happy with anything else. They don't feel like there's, you know...
They're not here for fun and games. Man.
No, right.
No.
And, but for Secret, the road they've had so far and what they've done is still something to be impressed about and happy about if you end up not going further than this.
But also, you got to look at the legacies in the matchup as well.
Well, let's compare here 2 players, one from each team, and see what we have in store. It's Leon and Joystick, the 2 spearheads. We were talking about this only a few seconds ago. 1.12 rating on Leon Gids, 1.08 for Joystick, +3 opening kills for Leon, +6 for Joystick. Otherwise, these 2 are very much a perfect comparison between the 2 teams.
Yeah, although Leon adds a lot to communication and leading for Secret as well. So that's some extra pressure, and it's impressive when people can perform very well and still put a lot of info through the team, right?
Just make sure that you can coordinate with your IGL. It really is a difficult subject to kind of not only have one in-game leader that's coordinating everything, but trusting in all of your teammates to convert that information into actual plays.
I agree. And the one thing about Leon that I'm actually worried about is how streaky he is to just getting those 3Ks to really put his team on top. Like his explosiveness, definitely on defense. I want to see his roam presence really felt in this matchup.
I wonder how this game will go. I have to say, as you see, the players are getting set and ready. Our admins are making sure that all is set. And then we'll have a chat about our maps as we get ready for those. Anything you boys would expect, though, after yesterday's, I say, fiasco on Clubhouse?
I mean, I don't think Empire's going to let Villa through because they just don't play that map. So anything but a best of 5, I don't think we're going to see that at all.
Isn't there a lot of similarity in the maps that they do choose as well?
Yeah, I mean, so Bank is the one that's like equally banned by both.
Yeah.
I don't think maps is the biggest worry here. Secret's definitely going to try and win the veto and maybe shake up the bans, right? Because they're the ones that have to like actively do something.
Yes.
Because we know that Empire isn't, like, they've mentioned it. We're not that worried about counter-stratting. We don't really want to change things. We just want to fix the mistakes that we had in the previous game.
I agree.
It's very simple for them. They can put a lot of energy into that one thing, right?
If you look at the game that Empire had as well yesterday against FaZe Clan, it really just was their mistakes that were failing them over and over again. We have our map veto, ladies and gentlemen. Remind you, it's a best-of-3 series. So as usual, we go for ban, ban, pick, pick, ban, ban, and then our decider pick at the end. Consulate banned out by Team Secret. As we slowly move through this, Villa moved by Team Empire. It's something that you can definitely expect. We go for our first map. It's Bank, picked up by Team Secret. Again, they stick to the same maps that they've been playing so far. And this is Bank being played, I believe, for the 3rd or 4th time by this squad. Pretty much every single series they've been in. Coastline, picked up by Team Empire. A very, very strong map for them. And then we'll go for the last 2 here. Clubhouse taken away. And what will we have as a decider will be Border? Yes, it will. There you go. Our decider will be Border. So, count it. Bank, map number 1, picked up by Secret. Coastline, map 2 by Team Empire. And our decider will be Border. And one thing to highlight, because we're going to go through, especially these first 2 maps, we showed Leon and Joystick. Not only are they the top 2 players on their team, but also they are the Jackal mains for their squad. And these 2 maps, specifically Bank, man, Jackal, massive operator pick when you're on the attacking side, something that you sorely need on both.
If they end up banning a Jackal, we could maybe see some gridlock to cover the main stairs. We know what Joystick's going to do. He's going to be the main stairs keeper, and we've seen him play everything from Capital, Jackal, gridlock, Nomad, anything on that map. So I don't think you can target ban it and make that big of a difference. One thing we were talking about yesterday in the green room was one thing that makes Joystick such a good Jackal is that he actually looks at the different footprints and decides which one's more likely to be the roamer, right?
How does he know?
And most people, even at higher level, will just scan whatever is closest. They won't go out of their way to try and narrow it down to say, oh, I'm only scanning the 3-speed, because when you got to be quick, it can be rather difficult to keep track of that.
And even if Jackal is banned, I feel like Team Secret on the intel side, you take a look at Fonkers and Leon, whenever they roam together with Valkyrie and Legion, which they paired extremely well together, they usually take over. And you know, I feel like they can ban Jackal and really take advantage of that and just dominate any type of presence that Empire's going to throw at them when they're attacking.
I wonder what sort of heavy breach operator we're going to be removing from this game. Habana is the usual on Bank, right? But not a lot of teams have shown great proficiency with the Maverick, I want to say. We were talking about this yesterday, Alex. It's like hit or miss for quite a few.
I'd say if Secret wants to actually really roam heavily, and that's something they want to gamble on, then probably leave all the hot breaches open, because you're going to be moving enough that that isn't what's going to make you lose. It's the fact that you lose your Romans and then you just don't have enough C4 or enough pressure on side, right?
So it would make more sense to remove someone like a Lion, someone like a Jackal or Dokebi.
Dokebi.
G2 was banning yesterday.
But you got to take a look at also Post's dominance.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I mean, Bank, we talked about it so many times, we can just sit in Gold Vault. That would
all day.
That would reinforce even more the fact that, removing one of the Heart Breach operators makes sense if you want to play the Turtle gameplay. That's something that Secret actually has floated towards in the past. We saw it in the group stage as well, where Meepy would just kind of squirm around the end with a shotgun just around the bomb chassis and net one kill after the other.
Yeah.
Dokebi IQ would make a lot of sense because that allows you to play Mossy for intel, Valk for intel, Echo's most likely being banned if IQ is being banned. But it gives you a lot of intel for a very, very heavy roam. And they got to be damn quick if they want to roam against Empire because they are some of the most effective roam hunters in Siege.
One thing I'm intrigued about as well is in Pro League, Empire are very proficient at running the Echo.
Yes.
The Echo specifically on this map, hiding it in these nooks and crannies. You play the IQ. What's your game plan going into this if you're Secret? Because you know you have to target this op or you're going to lose rounds for free.
Well, most of all, I feel like Echo should always be banned instead of Maestro, especially on Bank.
Makes sense.
But whoever the IQ is, the responsibility on their hands is going to be, the most out there because you're going to have to stay alive, hunt down those yokai drones to make sure you get those secure plans. But I feel like overall, when the operator bans come through, Maestro has to be in game. You're going to have to get Echo off the board immediately. Echo is the most dangerous operator out there with the plant denial, 2 of the yokais, and the amazing MP5 he has.
And especially on a map like Bank, where you can get the Echo drone in main lobby, and there's no way you're ever seeing that. You're not spotting it. You have full intel, any kind of hard rotate or it's just not going to happen.
Vodafone Giants ran that same strategy, and they're running Alpha Male on the Echo, even in online Pro League, and it proved to be so difficult to deal with because a lot of people just think, okay, well, when I'm playing Echo, I just throw the yokai on the floor and just try to hold it on to whatever ceiling I have. But if you throw it correctly, you actually have access to so many different angles now. It completely changes the game, and there is no way in hell anybody is spotting that yokai.
Yeah, and you can get to a point where losing an IQ actually hurts more than losing a Heartbreacher.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying because it's an operator that you're kind of expecting to go out fragging, but you also have to spend 1, maybe 2 minutes just looking for these 2 Echo drones, right?
Yeah, there's quite a few people as well that have been running the AUG nowadays, which was very odd. I think it was somebody on Secret that was running it, maybe Leon.
I mean, if you're shooting them in the head, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, even if you're shooting them in the head when your screen is half covered up by an ACOG and the AUG itself, then
you're playing ACOG, your ADS on every turn anyway. So
that's a very good point.
It's not walking around. It's not the biggest issue. I mean, the 5-up-2 is nice because of the high body damage. So if you don't win, you know they're low, whereas the AUG's lagging a little bit there, but it's personal preference when it comes to that.
One side I want to talk about, though, this is very specific to both teams, especially Secret, because they ended up playing this quite a bit, open area on Bank. I really want you to break things down here as much as possible to the viewers because it seems like a very difficult site to play on defense, and if you're not really coordinated, it ends up breaking down so easily.
I'm extremely biased on open area. Let's be fair on that. I think it's the best site on Bank. You can You can leave. It's the only site where you can drop off site through a hatch.
That's very true.
It's the only site where you can drop on site from a hatch. So the amount of freedom you have, plus the entirety of kitchen, is one hard box with just a couple of soft walls. The roof can't be breached. You're much safer than most other places. The bomb site is bigger than downstairs. And what happens downstairs is the second you don't have your pulse or you don't have info, you get a plant down and then you lose. So if the plant goes down, you're probably not going to retake.
Yeah.
Retakes can actually happen on open area.
Valley, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Team Secret going all the way, man. It's going to be 2-1, going to be a barn burner. I believe it's probably going to be the best match of the day. It's going to be the best match of the day.
There you go. Bold words. Alex, anything you'd like to add?
Good luck.
Thank you very much. As always, a man with few words, but those words count where they do. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's please follow me around as we take a grand old walk. I have to put in my cardio for the day because there's so many carbs in the U.S. Holy moly. Gentlemen, please.
Hello.
How are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, please at home, join me in welcoming both Blue and Stokes. What are those?
We can't see them anymore, so.
Not again.
That already happened.
And what are those?
We got through that.
That's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yes, sir.
So, guys, any closing thoughts before we start this game? Secret, Empire?
I completely agree with Zoronic. I think it's going to be all in the roam game because, as we've seen, Joystick will literally nuke you from anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're behind a wall, anything. They're very good with information. They're very good at hunting down that roam game, and he doesn't, 9 times out of 10, peek you. He just shoots you through a wall because he knows you're there. So they're really going to have to lean on that to try and get around them, whether neutralizing Joystick early on or what have you. We'll have to find out.
All right, from your side, Secret though, Blue.
Yeah, I mean, Empire's looked very, very scary this event, so Secret's going to have to bring everything they have. Both teams have had somewhat shaky matchups if you look towards like the group stage and whatnot. Secret really has to bring everything they have to this one, though. Otherwise, we could very quickly end up seeing Empire push their way through with how strong Dan and Joystick have looked at this event.
All right, boys, thank you very much for your information. Let's see if either Secret or Empire will try hard as much as Flynn did in that show match. We'll see you in game. Gentlemen, enjoy.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Our first semifinal of the day. It is going to indeed be Team Secret going up against Team Empire. One of the final tests now for Team Secret to see if they can take down the Russian machine itself. And it's all going to start here on Bank. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make some noise. It's our first map of the day, and it's going to be a good one.
It indeed is, Blue. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. We kind of have similar styles, but Team Empire, as discussed on the analyst desk, a little bit more neat in what they do, and Team Secret might have to mimic a little bit of that to achieve victory over Team Empire. We will have Kappa Tower moved first off by Team Empire. Those asphyxiation bolts as well as those smoke bolts from his tactical crossbow, just so good at getting the job done that you need. Isolating doors as well as cutting off vision, and they cannot get ADS'd.
Yeah, we've seen the prevalence of that, of course, over the last few months since the kind of side grade that he had a few months back. And obviously we've seen him banned out quite a bit since then. Jackal just being a normal ban, we see these aggressive attackers, aggressive anti-roamers is what I like to call them, getting knocked out pretty often just because for the defending team it's a little bit too hard to deal with. Echo, in the meanwhile, you guys have been seeing that all weekend, so there's no surprise there. And again, with Mira, the defender bans aligning pretty well with the most common trends at the moment.
I think the Jackal ban's fantastic, especially for Bank. Big map, you want to roam a lot. Also, Jackal, one of Joystick's routine picks because it helps him out quite a bit with that roam clear, so going to make Team Empire work for it a little bit harder on offense. Team Secret, though, will be starting out on offense here, and as is tradition on Bank, we're going downstairs.
Yeah, unfortunately, the banning of the Jackal is going to actually hurt Team Secret's capability to probably deal with players like Dan, like Joystick, who tend to roam around in this early round, really get into the face of the members of Secret as they're going to be trying to execute here. And unfortunately, without an operator like Jackal, it's going to be a little bit harder to track that down. You still have your defensive anti-roamers, and we do have one of them locked in for Secret. Fonkers is going to be taking on the Gridlock, which is essentially the role that we would kind of see the Jackal fulfill if he was in the game right now.
I really like this Gridlock pick as opposed to the Nomad just because the F90 is such a good weapon. You're a 3 armor, you can take a lot more gunfights. Obviously, headshot still does kill, but with how many ways you can move your head now, that's usually where it starts as the body. But that's not all. She also has those track stingers to lock down those staircases, make it a little bit harder for people to rotate. Team Empire, though, allocating Dan over to the Ella. We've actually seen him play this before on this exact site, on this exact map. He plays the blue stairs with his shield, puts some the Grismot mines above in order to isolate the staircase. Last time we actually saw him rocking the SMG instead of the shotgun after some series of unfortunate events happened with the pellet spread on the FO12, so he's more than likely going to be rocking the Scorpion again.
For lack of a better explanation, he rage quit out of the shotgun.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see if he fares better with it this time around. As we get into the round itself, of course, we've got Team Secret spawned out onto the board, so let's take a look at how they're going to be taking an approach to this. Pretty standard in terms of where they're routing towards. We'll see quite a few players mess around with rappelling towards the front of the bank itself. While you have already, you can see players like Feral trying to work their way in through stocks and start to clear out this second floor.
Secret mostly focused on the mid-level right now. Top level is clear as well, so it should just be some quick droning, and then main focus will be back onto site. No Habana ban, no actually hard destruction bans at all coming out on Bank, which is something we don't see too often anymore. But again, if you want to get rid of that Jackal utility or Capitao as well, we definitely understand why. But Team Secret will now have access to all of the hatches, be able to get those open and also get security open. First frag grenade comes through from Alems, but immediately gets ADS. Actually, no, that one will go off. They use the EMP to get rid of the ADSs on the staircase, so very good team play so far by Team Secret.
Yeah, nice job. They were having some problems dealing with the setup against that we've been seeing a similar setup from Team Empire throughout the entire tournament so far. So Team Secret probably reading into that, using the intel and just countering that. It's also, of course, a very common setup, so very easy to counter out there. Now we're going to see the hatch open over here towards Server, can no longer be denied by an aggressive peek from Empire. Dano is still looking to maybe try his luck here. Leon is going to take out Karzeka. Dan moves in for a 1-for-1, but Alems also is able to catch Dan with a frag grenade.
Be a quick down. We've seen Joystick in this position behind servers before. Last time he was able to make his way out with the triple kill, so they definitely need to send more than one body at a time in order to take this madman down. Leon actually secured that kill from up top down into red hallway, so leaving a little bit of that site pressure, and that's a big pick as well. That's going to be Karzeka on the smoke. Joystick rotating over near Mud Tunnel now, as they still think he's server. They've tossed some of those gridlock tracks back, and no one's watching the hatch. That's exactly what's punishing him. He's going to pick up 2. He's going for 3, and he gets it! Joystick, the first round for Team Empire.
Doesn't even matter as well about the track stingers there. Just going to be able to get rid of them nice and easily now. Completely destroys the rather potent push we were going to have here from Team Secret. Now it's all gone down the drain. Everything falls to Leon in a 1 versus 3 situation. He's going to try to take the duel versus Shepard. Oh, Leon is actually going to be able to win that one. Brings it down to a 1v2. But as you can see at the top left, his HP incredibly low now. Less than a sliver of it remaining here. He's got maybe 3 or 4 left to play off of, and he still has to find some way to attack this site with the remaining 30 seconds.
He can equalize this. We see Scyther laying down inside of the CCTV area. Is he going to peek into him? He is. Oh, that bullet's just going to go over his head, but Scyther quick with the second one. That's going to claim the first round for Team Empire. Joystick definitely setting them up for victory there. A very smart rotation and a little bit of a misplay from Team Secret on the hatch. Just did not have anyone watching his rotation, which allowed him to rotate over towards Mud Tunnel from server, play his life out, not have any of those gridlock tracks, stab him, and make gunfights a lot more difficult.
So a nice start on the defense here for Team Empire, and they'll look to build on that with a second floor hold. Let's take a look at some of the replays from the previous round here. Like you could see, keep an eye on our top part of the banner here. Things started out great for Team Secret, made great progress. We're already clearing out areas like the server stairs with just a few, well, with over a minute remaining. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, that aggressive play from Joystick cost them far too much as they tried to push down into server, and that's going to end up knocking them out of the round.
For Team Secret, along with that misplay, I really think that they could have handled Dan better on blue stairs. That shield being there was definitely messing with them because obviously they have to hop over it and take a gunfight at the same time and do a very, very good SMG, which is definitely not the best route of attack. But possibly getting rid of the shield, getting some more area that you can work with or even peek off of might have helped them out quite a bit in that situation because they all just locked themselves out of the hallway. Nobody obviously wanted to peek into Ella since the shield was there. We toss a frag grenade against it, especially since you have the ADS gun that will not get rid of your frag grenade or maybe possibly even sledge it. But that's going to be a little bit too close for comfort due to that SMG being on blue. Just they need to find a better way in order to handle that because if they continue down this rotation, they're definitely going to get faced with Dan on blue stairs once again.
So we're now into the second round. We've got our attackers spawned out. Let's take a look at how exactly they're going to approach this upcoming round here now. We got them out onto the field. And once again, players like Dan and Joystick are going to look to get in their way first off here. Usually the first points of contact for Team Secret due to their roaming presence, which has been so strong this event. You heard it talked about on the analyst desk, and this game is going to be no exception. Got a stat for you guys, once again coming in from our friends over at Siege.gg. Empire has won both of Empire and Secret's only previous matchups in the EU Pro League with a current scoreline of 7-3.
It's all different on land, though, baby. You got to remember that.
Very true.
It's all different. That's
especially
why
for Secret.
Especially for you. That's why you top ranked. Anyways, we do have a rotation downstairs for Joystick, or excuse me, for Dan inside of Archives over to small offices. But Farrell will start things off correct as Dan will get the refrag now. Limbs will fall. Joystick already has his ADSs down. Don't have to worry too much about the Jaeger. But Dan is going to continue his escapades downstairs inside of Archives. Those cameras upstairs that he's placed inside of sight, allowing him some vision in order to get those nitro cells off, especially with those evil eyes of Karzeka still online.
Time still ticking down. Slow progress being made at this point by Secret, but a lot more to deal with before they can approach the site. As you can see, Farrell still very carefully watching for a flank down and from Tellers as they'll drone that out just to make certain before Farrell abandons that position and commits himself further towards the actual push leading into the site here.
Dan with a very smart rotation actually ends up dropping down the hatch inside of a small office, an open area, and rotates to the bottom of main stairs. So he could still possibly get a flank off here. Barrow holding top of square. Maybe now gets the wall open. We have Leon on rappel outside on the north windows, trying to cut off any of the rotates that could possibly happen by Empire. But they have Scyther up in the front office. Actually, Fonkers will cut off the rotation for Dan downstairs. That's very, very good for Team Secret. Now all they have to do is focus on site as Smoke currently inside of meeting room, as well as the rest of Empire currently falling back. We do have Karzeka moved up inside of 90 though, as he does have a punch hole at the bottom of stock. Scyther will start things off on the site take for Team Empire, trying to repel off Team Secret. All of a sudden we have man
count even.
44 seconds remaining here, though, so we need to see Team Secret push the envelope soon. Karzeka constantly waiting back for this push to work his way towards him. You can see 2 out of 3 of the members of Empire taking hard angles right now, and Scyther flanking down into the lobby is going to be able to pick up the kill on Funkers to knock him out. The advantage goes back into Empire's hands here. So now Meepy going to look to find Impact. Oh, looked away just at the wrong time before he had a rotation work his way in through Janitor there. And now Scyther's going to be able to cut off Leon. It's all on Meepy, also been spotted up by Scyther. It's a miracle he's alive right now. Just a single HP left. He does have all 3, in fact, of his stim shots left, but not really a situation where he can use it, but it won't matter. Karzeka shuts it down, and Empire pick up their second.
Very smart rotation by Team Empire, recognizing out that Team Secret was stalling, and they were more than likely going to have to make an adjustment. They chose to adjust to lobby, and Scyther read that out perfectly, playing over behind the couches. That lobby's massive. You're not going to have time to check almost every single corner, so you just got to more or less run through there, hope that no one has rotated, check the usual spots. He just happened to be on an off area that really threw Team Secret for a loop. Scyther with a very big play right there, and I will give a little bit of a tip of a cap to Team Secret on their initial roam clear. They really couldn't handle Dan downstairs, but they eventually cut him off on rotation, recognizing that he was playing downstairs inside of the archives area. And they quickly dispatched Joystick as well. They just need a little bit better control of the site. It just feels like they really didn't have all of Square they really needed in order to force the envelope.
We'll take a look at some of the replays that happened here in a very, very dominant round, once again coming in for Empire. Some early skirmishes going the way of Team Secret, but not nearly enough. Once they got to the site, things came to a stall, and they had a lot of trouble managing that final 3v3, which, as we saw, Empire took control of due to the nice plays coming out from Scyther right there.
Well, Team Secret completing the rotation triangle, as Blue likes to say. So we will be going down to archives as well as tellers. This site traditionally played on more of a horizontal plane. You do have to worry about that vertical play, but as you guys can see, Scyther's currently opening up the wall, which got adopted quite a while ago. We first saw Evil Geniuses doing that at SI, I believe, in 2018, I want to say. But you play the main stairs at the bottom. You can actually hold down quite a bit of tellers, as well as you can actually break the paneling between the little cubicle that they have in there as well to see all the way over to the door. So you can make some very creative angles there. And if you play with an ACOG, a very dominant position that Team Secret is going to have to worry about.
Like Dan holding the angle at the moment, waiting for the push to come back in. Secret, of course, very timid with their approach to this one. Not a single player except for Fonkers going to be on the front buildings here. Everybody looks like they're going to be working their way in from the back. So they've got the whole lineup basically positioned to move in either from there or the roof, as you've got a few players looking to look in from the skylights as well here. Very slow approach being taken from Team Secret, a very analytical approach, which is kind of what you need to do against Empire since they're so unpredictable, especially when it comes to their star players.
Secret currently setting up for a top 4 execute to gain some control and gain that verticality with Leon, as they're going to open up all the north windows. Feral on top of Square, trying to isolate rotations and make it a little bit harder for Joystick to breathe. Fonkers going to be in the upside down rappel now, as they will break open the castle barricade. Joystick hits the deck, but he's going to be able to find Fonkers on the rappel. Feral, though, with the trade. Dan falls. Leon, though, once again to tack it off. Joystick and Dan fall, and the vertical pressure now comes from Secret.
Secret with a man advantage, something good that they can work off of here, and also a decent amount of time remaining too, at 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Those 2 kills have cleared out quite a bit of the building. You can see they've got full access to Square. And we'll take a look at Joystick's pick here again. Looks like he was able to catch him just out of the corner. And we had the rappel kill coming in on response there to give Team Secret the advantage. Speaking of which, we've got them trying to push their way down those main stairs. We've also got a hatch being opened by Meebee right now. They are kind of going for a little bit of shock and all to allow them to easily reposition, as they're not, as far as I can tell anyway, using the hatch they just breached open. Instead, they wrapped a lot of their players over here towards the primary lobby now, and are going to try and push in past the castle barricade. There's the breach charge. That will let them in. No aggression coming in just yet. Still a little bit of harassment to be done by Secret from up on top, though, as they have great control here as well.
Well, the good news for Empire is you can play most of this site actually off-site from either small offices or that staircase that we were talking about earlier to at least get some information. They're going to keep Shepard on site inside of Archives. They have Karzeka currently off-site over an open area laying under a desk on cams, as well as Scyther, who's playing on the stairs. Shepard shuts down one. That's Feral to start things off. Rotating over now in the vertical angles. Leon is still upstairs, so Empire still has to worry about that as Shepard's trying to fight his way across this creek. Secret now going for the plan as we see Meepy inside of Tellers. Scyther
He needs to rotate up these main stairs, but it's going to be limbs to shut down Shepard. Karzeka now with the rotation, but the plant's been restarted. Meepy still has to stick it. Karzeka, what a blunder of a shot. Throws a nitro cell, but it's not going to connect with anything except establish a rotate. Is able to shut down one, but takes quite a bit of damage for his leisure. Meepy knocks down Karzeka, and all of a sudden we're in a 2v1 in favor of Team Secret. Scyther rotates in, but we still have the vertical pressure as Leon will open up a hole right above the diffuser, making this a whole hell of a lot harder for Scyther.
Zeka there, a good attempt to try and stop the play outright, but unfortunately a bit of a misread on the situation. Now Scyther has to pick up the mantle here, less than half the time remaining in order to get onto the diffuser here. Meepy is going to be spotted on the outside. Scyther takes the duel and wins it, but now is the hard part. Now he's going to deal with the player upstairs, and this is not going to be an easy factor at all. He does not have the nitro still to confirm the easy kill. He's gonna oh, what is this? There's no way that Leon's going to be able to read into this. Maybe he has. No, he's noticed it. The nade goes in. It's going to impact. It should connect, but no, not in time. Just a moment too late. And Empire, 3 billion IQ from Scyther to clutch out the round.
The Russian machine never breaks, Blue. When you're down, you know someone has that vertical pressure, and the likes of Leon, you have to do something. That gunfight's going to be very difficult for you to try and rotate in that room and get an angle on Leon when he's already established. So instead, Scyther with the 200 IQ, with the long arm diffused through the wall. I bet you guys haven't seen that one in quite a while.
Great play from Scyther, and again, it just shows the dominance at the moment in this game here from Team Empire. They are crushing it right now. Good attempts, of course, again from Secret, but it's always in the late round. They're getting so close so many times, but constantly falling apart. Now, even in the post-plant as well. Secret are on to something here, and as you can see, not necessarily happy about the outcome of that round right there, but they need to fix this quickly. A 3-0 lead is starting to get dangerous here for Team Empire.
Fantastic take of the top floor for Team Secret, and they established exactly what they needed. They needed Leon upstairs with the sledge to make things a little bit easier on site. He got quite a few kills upstairs from those angles, actually really only one, but just came up short at the end. Some smart rotations from Team Empire to bring them back into things though. Scyther playing his life as well. We thought he was going to get aggressive on tellers, but he did not. Instead rotating into open area, into archives, able to get a little bit of a flank off, takes down IQ, and all of a sudden it's 1v1. Upstairs, Leon has to try and shut him down through the diffuse, but as we saw, very heads-up play. Team Secret, though, so far, have not been doing very bad on their executes or their map pressure. They've been able to take control of everything they really need to get onto site. They've really only had trouble downstairs where we saw Joystick with that nice 3K.
So, once again, it is time for Team Secret to try their luck at this push. Like you had mentioned before, Team Empire have now completed their site triangle. All 3 of their picked sites, both the basement, the second floor, and the teller's office, have been successfully rotated through. So now they are back to the basement here. Secret, of course, starting their attack from the second floor. They're going to try and work a top-down attack and slowly get control. Eventually try to force out the presence that's inside of areas like server stairs, and then force it from there.
Exact same setup here for Team Empire. Joystick downstairs in the server. Dan on blue stairs with ADSs. Last time, the frag grenade did not work out for them. Dan just waiting for that EMP to go off, and he predicts correctly. Throws another Grishmop mine at the top of the door, so if anybody hops the shield, they immediately get hit with it. Makes this gunfight a lot easier. Joystick now moving in for pressure as well, as it appears that they want to peek. Joystick going to add another ADS, actually, to help him out in case any of those frag grenades do come in now. And there you go. First frag grenade off from Limbs, another EMP. And this is a lot of utility burn here from Team Secret to get Dan off the stairs.
Another Geschmont mine going to be thrown up on top. The impact will take care of it, though. Pharaoh with the hopping kill onto Dan. Nicely done by him. Great management of the situation, but as you said, a lot of utility was used in the process here. They're going to be using one of their breach charges in order to work their way down the hatch. They'll force back a little bit of the aggression from Team Empire, at least put it under control for now. Secret has to be the one to make the move here, and time is not necessarily in their favor. At a minute and 20 seconds, they are making enough progress. They need to make sure it remains consistent. And unfortunately, players like Joystick, sitting in the back of server, are going to be trying to get into the way of that.
Need to hold down this hatch for rotation as well. Actually, we have someone inside of Mud Tunnel waiting for the rotation. If Joystick does rotate to the right, he's more than likely going to get in a lot of trouble. Everyone's dropping right now, and Joystick gets eliminated. Team Secret much better at taking over server control from Joystick instead of allowing him to rotate like they did last time. So finding solutions to the problems that they had attacking this site before. Now opening up CCTV as they need to try and burn out Karzeka's utility. We have seen actually quite a few teams, specifically last time we saw Bank, actually, before we say that, Leon takes down Karzeka. That's a massive pick, actually. Smoke so important on this site. A quick rotation down main. Leon to tack on as he takes down Shepard, and all of a sudden, Team Secret with a flawless round.
Looks like a completely different Team Secret there, executing incredibly well composed, almost surgical in the way that they attack the site and the way that they push their angles, especially when it came to that server push to knock out Joystick with essentially zero risk to any of their own players. A really great adjustment from Team Secret. Now we got to see if that can stay consistent.
Exactly. They just need to be more consistent in these attacks. These last 2 attacks prior to their victory were pretty clean. They still had their issues, obviously, especially with that last 1v1 that we saw, but a good bounce back from Team Secret nonetheless. Good handle on Dan's situation on blue stairs as well as Joysticks, and also very smart rotation over to main stairs, applying pressure on different areas of the site and make Empire spread thin instead of just focusing on a one-sided attack.
And you can see how it goes down here once more. It's just great stuff from Team Secret. Very, very solid execute from them. Not really a mistake made throughout the entire process. Even with the overuse of utility that happened over on the server stairs, it ended up all being necessary in order for them to close out the round. So, a good step. Now let's see if they can block with it.
That utility burn on main stairs was actually well worth. I was actually getting sort of scared there when they started running out of EMP grenades, and especially because they are so very helpful with ADSs inside of Red Hallway or Evil Eyes that are sitting inside of CCTV or what have you. That EMP grenades are practically worth their weight in gold. They're a fantastic utility, one of the most powerful utilities inside of Siege, and burning them that early can definitely be a terrifying thing, but it definitely helped them out to gain control over server as well as blue stairs, and that's exactly what Team Secret needed. Isolating rotations as well over from main stairs. They made sure to keep a lockdown on open area and had the rest of their squad deal with that blue stairs as well as server shenanigans that Team Empire had going on. But again, they have to recreate it now. They need to try and close this gap on this side of things before they shift over to defense, which will more than likely help them out.
So, Secret once again starting that push forward. It is the same site that they're attacking, so will more than likely be executing in that same fashion throughout the entire thing. As we see them start their push, Fonkers have cleared out the lobby now. There is not much roam presence this time, as it is basically the same setup from Team Empire. It's a very rare thing for them, to be completely honest. They've kind of hunkered down on the site and are playing to turtle it, with, of course, the play from Dan inside of the stairs, and a few players just extended towards main stairs in order to make sure that Secret were able to get access to that. Down to the 2-minute mark, and once again, it's been a pretty quiet round so far. So.
This is a full turtle defense indeed, Blue. They've actually shifted Dan and Joystick back to site. They're just going to try and play these angles and burn the utility of the offense and waste their time in trying to get this diffuser down. We do have the first kill, though. It's going Team Empire's way as Leon falls. He has already done his job for the most part, though, getting the top hatches undone, making things a little bit easier for Team Secret to isolate out Red Hallway. Actually, a very quick shot from Shepard inside of Garage. Very nice shot up the hatch for Red Hallway. Gonna make someone from Team Secret rotate back up into open area to pick up those mantle of angles. They're so very important in trying to shut down any rotations from Red that Dan could possibly have.
Minute and 15 seconds remaining here. Very, very quiet round for the most part, except for the denial onto Leon. Besides this, well, we've got an aggressive play from Dan. Kind of random, to be completely honest here. It does down Alems, but Meepy is going to be able to take him out before he can confirm the kill. So still an advantage to Secret, as they'll be able to get Alems right back up and into the fight now.
Evil Eye inside of Garage going to help out Shepard as he does get some help. Alems, though, will shut him down as the Garage shake seems to be working out. Hasn't been taken out just yet, but Joystick on the rotation, I do believe, upstairs. No, he's still fighting downstairs near the main stairs, actually. Karzeka, after the plant goes off, was not able to shut things down as the rotation does come out from Joystick. Knocks out the Claymore as he does rotate all the way upstairs, trying to get a higher angle to watch if somebody's watching from that hatch, as well as he can clear open area from up here because they have opened up the hatches.
Half the time remaining here now. We need to see Empire make a move right now, otherwise Team Secret are going to be able to claim their second. Joystick on a good angle. He's got someone creeping right towards him, but the shot gives it away. He's going to drop in. No, Farrell realized the shot took him out. Scyther will be able to trade and square, but Meepy takes Scyther right back out of it. It's all on Karzeka. He doesn't even see Farrell dropping back down the hatch into the site to give Team Secret round number 5.
I like the distraction from Team Secret here. They shoved somebody Garage to try and, once again, spread Empire thin. As you saw, they shifted someone over to help out Shepard inside of Garage. Shepard was still, the man rotating Garage still went out the fight. It was Alems who ended up taking down Shepard. Just very smart rotations from Team Secret, and that's exactly what you need to do. When you're trying to get that diffuser down, you need to try and put some of your reinforcements other places in order to draw the other team thin so they can't just focus on one thing. Helped them out quite a bit, still able to get the plant down as well, and Team Secret actually also waited for the very aggressive play as well on Dan.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, what a nice shot by Limbs. He was actually the one who killed Shepard. I thought it was Fonkers actually that rotated in. I apologize about that, but no. It was Fonkers that was taken down later by Joystick inside of Garage. A hell of a shot. Good enough to make me completely miss who actually killed him. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Really great stuff. So, now that we finish off the replays, ladies and gentlemen, we'll work ourselves into the next round here and take a look and see if Team Secret can complete this comeback. Now, these have all been rounds won against a basement attack. That's just a single site. Siege is a multi-site game. And we're going to see next Team Empire abandon that, even though they could have chosen to work on it again. Obviously, that hasn't been going that well for them. So instead, they've rotated back upstairs, where they've had much better control over the site overall here and are hoping to take back the lead at a potential 4-2 half. This is the last round of the half now, and it's a great chance for Secret as well to tie us up.
Well, Empire picking up the ACOGs as we'll have Maestro, Rook, and Doc. The ACOG bros will be online. We haven't seen too much Rook play at LAN as of recent, especially in the group stage area, but definitely going to have him here for Empire at least. He still has the exact same utility from all the way back in the day. Some pads, some armor pads that you put on, and it makes you to where your armor rating is 1 higher, and there's certain percentages that go along with that, but percentages are boring. So we'll just tell you this, it automatically means that you get downed if you have 1 on, unless you get shot in the head.
Yeah. Bomb located by Secret, another stat coming up here for us. Secret has been excellent at attacking the CEO bomb site with currently a 6-1 record throughout the tournament, and I believe that 1 is from this map, basically. So the only loss they've had so far was against Team Empire here. Looking to change that right now, make it a 7-1 record.
Team Secret slow and steady as usual, and we haven't seen them really ramp up the aggression just yet, really respecting what Team Empire is able to create on Rome without Team Secret exactly clearing everything. So Team Secret's main focus has been trying to get these drones placed around to watch for flanks and establish information on where Team Empire is currently held up. And as of right now, no roamers, even though last time we did see Scyther rotate downstairs with the Doc, but Rook falls. That'll be Dan. That's a big pick, as he's usually the man with the plan. Can usually turn the tide of the battle. Scyther, though, will take a little bit of damage, but he soon docks himself up.
Scyther still trying to find an angle to work off here. We'll take a quick look at the replay here from Leon's first pick that he found. Very nice. Catches an opponent with his pants down. That's going to be Dan getting knocked out. One of the key components here for Empire, now out of the round. And of course, Secret now off of this, being allowed to move into the main lobby. But there's a surprise waiting up on top. Scyther still at the elbow here. Going to try and restrict the presence from these guys. Falker's going to be taking a lot of heat as he moves forward. That's mainly coming from Karzeka in the inside of the elevator. But Feral instead will find the opening frag against Scyther. Karzeka, though, going to drop down the hatch, try to make a run around over towards the main stairs to take a better position as he now falls back. But that's going to open things up for Secret to push. However, Shepard makes a run out for the janitor closet, takes out Alems.
Very smart rotation by Karzeka, but Secret continues to push down on site as Feral takes down Joystick. All of a sudden, it's up to Karzeka as well as Shepard. Shepard with that SMG-11 kill earlier, but definitely going to have to try and find something else right now. Karzeka starts us off, but Leon will shut down Shepard. It's all up to 1, and Team Secret ties it up in round 6.
Pretty wild round at the end of the day, especially once we got into the execute there. After Team Secret pushed their way up spiral stairs, everything just went crazy. As Empire kept trying to push, we saw Team Secret continuing their own push as well. Ultimately, Team Empire ended up getting very, very split up amongst their remaining player base, and they just cannot stop the push from Team Secret. Very rudimentary, but a very successful round from them. Ties it up at 3-3 as the teams will now switch sides.
Team Secret with some fantastic plays on that side in particular. This is an angle you don't see too often get repelled on. I'm going to assume that that's why it threw Empire off quite a bit. You usually have somebody repel on the front of bank where the pillars are instead of that side window. So they were prepped for that, but they were definitely not prepped for the repel that Leon performed. Other than that, Empire really just fell apart the seams once their back-end ACOGs had fallen off. Once Dan and Scyther were dead, it all of a sudden became extremely easy for Team Secret to apply pressure to site. had all the control in the world they could possibly need inside of CEO, knew that Shepard was more than likely playing inside of meeting, quick to shut him down. But overall, a very methodical take by Team Secret, but that's just out of respect for what Team Empire, once again, is able to accomplish on their roam game if they are performing it. On that site, they weren't. We did have a smart rotation once again by Karzeka inside of the elevator where you saw that frag grenade come in and he immediately grabbed the bailiff and shot up on the hatch. So some 200 IQ plays still in there for Team Empire, but they definitely got to pick up the pieces on offense.
Now we'll have to see exactly if they're going to be able to do that. Bank pick coming in here. This is map number 1 of the series if you're just joining us, so still plenty to go in this one, especially if Team Secret is able to take control of this opening map. That'll certainly shake things up. Send us on a bit of a wild ride for the rest of the series. Bit of aggressive push here coming in from Leon to try and get some advanced intel as if anyone is pushing down the mud tunnel. And we'll get some eyes onto the players pushing over towards Repel. Joystick specifically, oh, and it was used to allow Feral to run out successfully. Works out great. He's gonna find the pickup against Joystick. There's a Valkyrie cam as well to attempt to help them. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to take it much further. Scyther at the main door is there for a trade, brings it back down to a 4v4.
That's a massive pick. Dokkaebi off the field now, no more logic bombs. Smart from Feral to now show a little bit of that aggression. If you do it in controlled bursts, it's a lot more surprising instead of applying it all the time. And Secret definitely catching Joystick off guard, which you don't see too often.
Something that you see too often at all here. Dan working himself in through Janitor Closet. He's going to start popping open some of the hatch access areas here in order for them to clear that out and prevent any other mishaps with the roam game from Secret. Already the aggressive run out knocked out a big piece of their execute utility. They need to try and find some way to battle this back. 4v4 is not going to be the greatest, but Karzeka strikes true, is able to eliminate the Legion still roaming around, and that's a Lems going down.
Very big pick as well, as the longer Lems is alive, the more goo mines he gets. But we actually still have a roamer, Fonkers. Over inside of Tellers takes down Karzeka. All of a sudden we're even once again. Dan though, quick with it, and quickly Leon rotates up blue and takes down Dan. There's no one on site, they're all just rotating to assist each other. So, as we've grown to expect from Team Secret, some aggressive stuff on defense, but it's working out for him right now. Leon has taken quite a bit of damage though. Nitro Self flies through the air and immediately shot by the likes of Scyther with a quick flick.
Secret busting out some very crazy aggression in order to keep them somewhat in control of this round. And so far it's worked. Had to fall back though. You've got both Leon and Meepy closer to the site now, basically awaiting the final push from Empire, and they weren't able to take out the hard breach. You still have both the Hibana and the Thermite in play, meaning that they can open up basically every single angle they need, since we don't have any electrified defenders here to try and double reinforce any of those walls. Leon though still has a lot of intel to gather though, as he's on the pulse. He can fall back into the safety of the gold bars area and be ready for when this push works his way in, as he should now be getting the intel. You can see Scyther trying to spot out that player, but it's not going to be so easily noticed here. Scyther, though, regardless, looking like he's potentially ready to drop down the red hall hatch here and make his own really aggressive push to try and throw the members of Secret off.
Leon playing inside of Garage could be in some trouble as Scyther is on top of the hatch, and he can get that angle if he rotates across, but I don't know if he knows that he's there. He does, he takes down Leon, immediately hops into red, gets aggressive, and actually the smoke grenades will hold off one. Meepy with a smart rotation, recognizing out that Scyther rotated in. The Thermite charge not doing him any due diligence on eliminating his sound of the drop. Now Meepy just going to play time as he needs to rotate away. Shepard has to put the diffuser down. He runs up the main stairs, and there's no time! Team Secret on a 4-round banger.
Pushing forward the lead, and there you see the coach giving his congratulations. Technically, the last North American representative now in this tournament as their coach. He is Canadian, after all. The team itself is European, with players hailing from multiple countries, but the coach is Canadian. So your NA fans out there, that's what we got left.
That's all we got. That's all we got. We do have Fonkers.
You know who to root for.
Everybody can root from Fonkers from Finland, though.
That's very true.
That's very true. Everyone's a big fan of Fonkers, but overall, initially quite a good take by Team Empire, even though it fell off by a lot of this roam game, but I don't see that happening twice, because Team Secret, as we have seen on defense, they do a lot of things solo. You really don't see the team peak that we usually see by the likes of Team Empire. Team Secret takes a lot of these one-on-one duels, and more than likely has somebody on the back end to assist them from a different angle. Team Empire, on the other hand, will have Dan and Joystick try and pressure the same area, more like a blitz, if we can use that, by those two operators. So Team Secret, again,
A little bit of a different setup, but hey, it's still doing the job.
Yep. And some really crazy aggression coming out from them too in order to accomplish that. Really constantly trying to keep up with the trade game, never letting the folks from Empire be able to get a man advantage against them. And I suppose that works. Allows them to trade it out at the end of the day, or at very minimum, delay enough time from the execute away from Empire in order for them to close out the round. Speaking of Empire, we've got them spawning out in just a moment here. Very similar loadout going to be coming out to the table, including Joystick still on the Dokkaebi. So they're looking to bring that Intel operator into the round once again. Let's just hope we don't see the aggressive pick happen this time.
Yeah, more than likely that is not going to happen twice. You're definitely not going to catch him off guard like that once again. Karzeka, though, are pulling up the front of Bank, and this is an angle that we typically see almost every single game. It's a very dominant angle. You're able to establish a lot of control over Banana, and a limbs will fall for rotation inside of sight, and that is why the front of Bank is so good on those repels. And Karzeka doing that with a holographic as well.
Nicely done. Also losing the Maestro this early on as well. Hopefully he was able to position those Evil Eyes appropriately, as if not, that's going to be a huge lack of utility going into the late round here. We'll assume that that's not the case, though. So moving further into it, the biggest loss they'll have is just the minusing of the Alda from the game. A lot of long-range potential and just covering fire that can come from that gun. It's quite useful for the defenders and essentially quintessential to the current Siege Defender meta.
No one home currently for Team Secret as Empire is focused on the upstairs area. They will open up things into Janitor, though, and make sure that everything's clear, but clearly there is no one home. They do now have top pressure as Joystick is still working his way across on the north windows. Rest of Secret, for lack of a better term, have turtled back up on site. Fonker's actually in pillars as he rotates into tellers right now. So we do still have one person that's playing decently off of site, but he appears to be rotating back now.
So the clock will continue to tick down here. The elimination of Alems has not sped up Empire by any real means here. We are going to see Meepy get into a fight, I believe, with Dan. Meepy ends up coming out on the losing end of that one, but keeps his life, at least for the time being, as he's dropped down to about 50 HP.
Oh, it's a frag grenade for Dan. Oh, this might spell the demise. A quick shot. Dan, double duty, quickly gets the L85 out, removes Meepy from the round as Team Empire well on the lead now. Have to hit the gas to try and finish this up. Still 3 remaining members of Team Secret. Under a minute left, and Karzeka once again shutting down Feral, and this is looking like Team Empire with a perfect round, but no, it will be Fonkers to whisk that away as Dan falls upstairs, making things a little bit easier, but they still have Joystick with those logic bombs you have to worry about, and Leon actually with a hell of a shot onto Scyther upstairs as he continues to be able to hold down this site.
There's 2 players remain here now for Team Secret. Very, very low as well. Fonkers is about 25 of his HP. Leon down to only a single sliver of it at 25 itself. 20 seconds remain, though, for the attackers. Once again, Empire's going to be stretched to the bar limit of their attack as they do play into open area here, trying to work towards it. This is where the freedom allows them to play a bit more, but the problem is Karzeka will just swing around on the 180, quickly pick up the second kill, and close out the round for Empire.
That has to hurt for Fonkers. He was rotating up main stairs and just saw the tailcoats of Karzeka going into open area, and the trigger discipline just lacked a little bit right there. He needed to be able to rotate up in order to get that kill, just did not have enough time for the flick in order to hit Karzeka's head. Shot a little bit of bullets. Karzeka obviously recognizing out that, hey, someone is behind me. 180s, kills Fonkers, rotates into open area, cleans up Leon, and all of a sudden we're equalized once again.
This nice shot from Leon once again as well, and he was able to line up for himself just a sliver of a headshot angle there, and he swings right into it. A nice play from him, and again, this is the ending one from Karzeka as well. So the problem with playing open area, it's open, so quite a bit more of an angle to work with for the attackers. Not as many hard points for the defenders to be able to lock down in a situation like that. Someone can very easily close it out in a clutch.
I definitely agree that open area is open.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a given, yeah.
So are you actually blue?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Just getting that. Okay. Anyways, I do agree with you. I do agree with you though. There's not a lot of areas to sit in there where that you can't get shot through, and if they have the information, they can immediately punish you with that because there's nothing there besides, I believe, a couple of filing cabinets that are sitting under the desk that are bulletproof. But besides that, you can rip through every single cubicle. It's a very terrifying thing when all of a sudden you get logic bombed and you're laying down behind a desk in open area because you just go, okay, when am I going to get shot? That's really the only option here.
And it does explain why we quickly see our defenders shifting away from that site over to something more traditional, which is going to be up on the second floor.
I mean, well, you heard Zoronic. Open area is the best site in this entire map. Why wouldn't they just continue to go there? Oh, no. Leon gets spammed by Shepard. Leon, you should know better, man. That door always gets opened. He ends up falling. And that's a very big pick as well. That's their only denial operator for hard destruction on the defense. Unless Elims has a very sneaky Evil Eye setup, or Smoke possibly has some impacts. That's really only your two options. Obviously, Feral can obviously have impacts as well on the castle, but he's more than likely use those for rotates.
So the attack going to be bolstered as a result of finding that early pick. Just doing a little bit of drone work here, of course, before they commit to it, as now the roam presence here from Team Secret is probably going to have to be minimal with the loss of their Cade. You can see, at least when it comes to the square side of the map, not really much set up at this point for Team Secret to get aggressive with. It's mainly focused on the site. Speaking of which, Fonkers tries to roll out against Karzeka, but it will not work. Karzeka gets the better of him. Empire's advantage continues to grow here now at a 5v3. Feral, though, looking to turn this back around with his angle, but it's not going to lead to much. Joystick now will be avoiding that.
Team Empire, slow and steady, winning the race for them right now as they continue to put a stranglehold on this site. You can see the amount of operators that they have lined up on every single angle. We have Joystick on north windows, Karzeka rotating in from ATMs to get control of Grand Stairs, two people top of square. Anywhere that you need a body in order to hold an angle to make it to where they can't rotate or make things harder in sight, Team Empire has it. And they've been able to recreate this multiple times, just like that. Dan takes down Feral, just holds his rotation over towards windows and immediately gets punished for it. Elims now in the front office, but cannot find anybody home on the windows.
Just picking these guys out one by one right now, it seems. The Secret keeps trying to make moves, and this worked for them in past rounds. You can see the justification for it, but it won't matter. Dan cleans up with a double at the end. That's going to continue to push Empire back into the game now as they take the lead once more at 5-4.
Again, this methodical offense for Team Empire, just slowly constricting sight, making it where you can't rotate safely, and holding everything until Team Secret starts to freak out. That's really what it is. They're just getting a little antsy. They have to try and fight their way out of the box that Empire has established. The trouble is, every single pathing that you have is being watched by somebody with a gun in an angle already established, which is extremely hard to fight into. Shepard's just pre-firing. He's pre-firing to try and get that door open, as well as pre-firing head level in case anybody crosses. I'm sure he's done it a million times. This time, it just did not work out in the favor of Leon.
And that was really the start of the downfall, it seemed, from Secret that time, as they continued to lose far too many players far too quickly in trying to re-aggress. And as such, we've actually got a tactical timeout coming in now from the coach on Secret here, trying to figure out exactly what these guys need to do in order to bounce back into the game. Limited amount of time to do this, and once it's over, the coach will have to flip his mic back up and will no longer be able to talk.
Yeah, 30 seconds indeed. Helby trying to gather some information, whether it's to be more aggressive or what have you. We'll have to see exactly what their battle plan is. The easiest way to try and deal with an offense such as Team Empire's is try and get some early pressure, whether it's an early pick or what have you. We're going to have to find out from Team Secret, but you have to try and take away one of their operators to make it where they cannot establish that box around site and make it harder for you on what rotations you want to do, as well as angles you want to take. Because when Team Empire is 5-man up and they already have that initial pick, it is such an easy round for them to win.
Empire will look to do this once again, but it's going to be once more against Secret's basement defense, which was brilliant before in the way that they re-aggressed and continued to play off-site in order to push the aggression against Empire. The problem was they've been trying to do that on other sites too, and this strategy has grown slightly less successful the more they have attempted it, as now it seems Empire has kind of caught on to it and has been able to counter it out. Secret may have to play a little bit more traditionally here on this site. I would say that, but looking at the operators, that may not be the case. It's looking like it's still a very roam-heavy game to be played here by Secret if they want to fall into that again.
5 seconds left.
Aggression fixes everything, apparently, is what the play is for Team Secret. And it might as well be. If they're able to win out these initial gunfights like we see G2 do very often when they're play off site, it all of a sudden becomes an easier round for you instead. It doesn't allow Team Empire to hold nearly as many angles. You can actually rotate. Again, it just makes everything a lot easier. And Team Empire isn't bringing Nomad or Gridlock, which we saw Team Secret bringing to try and isolate those staircases, make it harder for those rotations instead of just having someone sit there with a gun, the dedicated utility to it. Team Empire, on the other hand, they don't really variate from what they use almost every single time. We've seen Joystick on Dokkaebi this entire time, Karzeka on Zofia, and the rest of the lineup practically for the entire team we've seen time and time again so far on this offense. So there's not very much deviation, as they really have everything they need. You have the 2 hard destructors, you have the Thatcher, and then you have your 2 flexes and really what they want to play. They've been doing very good with these logic bombs, holding onto them until they absolutely need it for that information gathering, instead leaning on drones early on.
So with a minute gone, as you said, drone's going to be part of the strategy here for Team Empire and trying to work their way back in. They have moved in to take control of areas like Square, but are still working past getting into the server stairs and knocking out players like Feral, who of course are looking to hold that back. He's primed and ready to go with a Nitro Cell, in fact, to try and shut these guys down if they attempt to push towards him. So things will continue to remain quite slow. And on top of this, Feral also has additional info coming from Leon down below too. Leon giving them intel on the pulse scanner, which is essentially just going to detect players that walk by every couple of seconds, or about every second or so. So he would be able to time that toss out of his C4 appropriately and pick up the kill. It's not just going to be a blind throw.
Well, things can get a little bit dicey though, as Dan is playing Thatcher. Rotates down to the bottom of Square stairs. End up meeting Bonkers. Bonkers pre-fires. Dan also, as he's trying to isolate his corner, going to continue to watch the cross in case Bonkers tries to leave. They might need some pressure from Blue to get assistance, but last time we saw Joystick was upstairs holding that door towards Blue. Dan actually going to hop in the window, so he does recognize out exactly where he's rotating. Dan with the trade though, does take down Bonkers and Limbs with a quick pickup. Joystick as Feral tries to rotate up Blue, and all of a sudden we have bloodshed in round 10.
Once again, a very quick traded affair here leaves us down into a 3v4, but again, it's Team Empire at the mantle of it as Team Secret continues to try and play aggressively. It has not worked out. Now most players will continue to sit downstairs as they have shifted into slightly aggressive. They have shifted into a much more traditional setup now for the rest of this round.
Oh, we do have a Limbs actually rotating through lobby right now. This Empire is poised to actually focus on site. You see him working his way towards elevator. He needs to make this move right now. 17 seconds, Joystick dies, but actually Shepard waiting for the rotation, and this is just how good Empire is. Even at the last second, they're still making sure no one can possibly rotate. More than likely had a drone inside of lobby, and this is just textbook Team Empire. They've always got information. When people are dead, there's always on those flank drones making sure that no one can possibly rotate. They probably knew a Limbs was coming all the way 20 seconds ago when he first came through that archives door and started just working his way across lobby. Just these prep drones have been working out so well on their information game, and it's almost as if when you do get those kills, it becomes a little bit more difficult, because instead of just a guy with a gun watching, you have all the information that they placed across the entire map on the offense with these drones. And again, it's just very difficult to get a flank off on these guys. It's almost like they have a third eye.
Such a well-composed round once again coming out here for Team Empire, and it's almost secured the map #1 of the series now. Just a single round needed to pick up, and they will have control of it, putting them only one more away from yet another grand final for Team Empire here, and send Team Secret, one of our only Western European teams left in the tournament, home.
Yeah, Team Secret though, as we saw last round, they tried to fight fire with fire, but Empire had everything they really needed to try and handle that situation inside of Archives. There was some assistance from Team Secret, but as we talked about before, it's usually those 1v1s that we see Team Secret get into. They did get the refrag, but that was immediately dealt with as well, and Joystick was even able to claim a kill from Blue. He was watching that angle for at least a minute and 45 seconds just waiting for somebody to rotate. He knew that was the only path in they could possibly take in order to help out the man in Archives unless somebody came through lobby, and that immediately got traded out as well. So Team Empire, again, just textbook with these early drones, as well as just the early pressure they've been able to apply to this roam game. It's almost as if Team Secret really can't find an answer. It's, again, they have to try and establish this early dominance and man advantage. Otherwise, Team Empire will continuously put you inside of a box and force you to try and fight out of it.
Empire, though, on the board now, once again on the attack here, looking to close out one of their final rounds with a Teller's push. And we'll see if that's going to be possible. You've already got players on Rappel trying to mess around with anyone that might be on the inside of the windows, but for the most part, that's probably going to be unsuccessful, as you can tell from the lineup of Secret. Trying to play much closer to the back lineup of the building, into that main hallway leading into Square, and places like Stocks over by the main stairs. Fonkers spots a drone. He is going to be able to catch one there, so probably not going to be able to use it this late into the round too much in order to scout for intel, but at least it does take one out of the hands of the attackers.
No Jaeger for the defense either, so all of Dan's frag grenades are going to explode. There's no way to get rid of them, as well as all of Karzeka's utility will be working, as well as all those stun grenades. So that's a lot of throwable utility they have to worry about. Scyther to start us off for the match point here in round 11. See, we'll take down Feral. Castle Barricade's obviously already up though, but you can always need another man with a gun. And once again, we just seen Team Empire establish this box around the site and cut off pathing. It's such a good setup by Team Empire almost every single time. And again, whether it just be patience from Team Secret and just wait for rotations from the offense or what have you, they need to try and find a way to shut down this box that Team Empire continues to put them in, because it's always just been isolate their pathing, make it where they can't rotate, wait for those free picks, and once they get those picks, they start to constrict onto site.
Joystick starting his run forward here now as the rest of the team gets primed for an execute. Karzeka gonna make his push back over towards the projector room as well here and start to prepare the team for the push downstairs. Pop open a bit of the floorboards here, give them a bit more lateral room to work with and trying to attack Team Secret, who's grown rather quiet over the last minute or two now since they lost Feral. They do not want to take any chances here in losing this round and giving the map over to Empire, but they don't have a choice as now Joystick is forcing the issue. He's pushed forward, is able to knock out Alems. The phone call has also come in now. Meepy and the remaining members of Secret are being rung. Of course, now Team Empire trying to hunt them out with this intelligence. Karzeka might drop down into a bit of a dangerous position. In fact, he does. He's pincered now, trying to catch a player closer to the site, but Dan instead is going to strike next, finds Bonkers. Karzeka will fall, but Dan strikes right back, finding Meepy. Everything falls to Leon in the 1v4 to try to hold on to the map. He does have some hard ping assistance here over towards the main stairs. A nice slide up from Leon to be able to grab Joystick, but it won't matter. Scyther takes him down, and it's Team Empire that claim map number 1 of the semifinal.
And that's Team Secret's pick as well on Bank Blue. Team Empire, once again, their offense just so damn good, man. Slow and steady wins the race, establishing the angles to once again cut off that pathing of the defense. And whether it be they need to apply pressure off of site or what have you, they need to try and find a way to get around that going into the next map. It is going to be Coastline. It is pretty rudimentary. I mean, you really can't get too creative on there. We've basically seen everything you could possibly do on Coastline. It's a very aggressive map. You can rotate very quickly from top to bottom floor due to the massive open center of the map. It's basically set up like a massive donut.
All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for us for now. We'll be back for map number 2, but for the time being, let's take it over to the analyst desk to break down Bank.
It's in position.
Thank you so much, Blue. Sam, I guess this game got a bit too tight for what we were expecting, but again, this is Team Secret's map. They should be very comfortable at this. They were, but only 4 rounds, not enough. Empire in control throughout the map. Gentlemen, what was going on there for Secret?
It was pretty interesting to see Secret do better on attack than they did on defense. I mean, we pretty much predicted what was going to happen. Jackal was going to be banned, and we saw a lot of that Valkyrie Legion Pulse setup by Team Secret, but it didn't work out in the end. What it was Empire's patience, and we all saw that. When Team Secret, when they were pushing out their defense, they made sure, especially when it was the CCTV setup, they pushed everyone out. They made sure they had server control. It was the Limbs and Fonkers that were actually over in Archives and Tellers holding back Team Empire. And even though time was running short, they were still able to execute properly to take that setup and win.
I'm just surprised of how much of the fight actually happened outside of the building.
Yeah.
On a map as big as Bank, sure, there's a lot of repel sites, but Empire is so efficient at staying out there, getting long angles, and being able to refrag all the time. Whenever we saw anyone jump out and go to dirt, there was always someone to refrag, and they never had control of dirt on the takeback.
That very first round with Joystick, every single time we see him around the server, he is just netting 1, 2, in that case, 3 kills. How do you even flush a player out of a position like that in servers?
You can't at all. And it's not even just on defense, it's on attack as well. It got to a point where Empire, they put Joystick on Dokkaebi and was just like, all right, you know what? You're by yourself now. Go ahead, frag out, slap up a Limbs, and then own the round for us. He did exactly that.
See, that's an operator I want you to talk about for just a moment here, Saronic. We talked about the Dokkaebi before starting. What was the big strength here that were exploited by Empire against Secret?
Well, so you don't have that many choices when you're going to have to do the roam clear. Secret play is rather aggressive, right? Jackal's out of the play, so Joystick has to find some other way to get these roamers spotted quickly. Because they're good with their drone work, but you need to narrow that time down because you can't afford droning every single nook and cranny on Bank. You just don't have time for it. So you throw a few drones out, you do one call, and you instantly know half of the top floor is cleared, right? You can hear it. You can open a couple of windows and you can actually hear it from outside as well.
And it was essentially the battle of intel. Take a look at Team Secret's operator use. You know, you have Valkyries and Legions all over the place, you know, sending out the goo mines and then, you know, the vault cams. But what Team Empire did better, they were the better droning team. We all saw that one loss where it was a 1v1. I believe it was Scyther down in CCTV. The drone play was fantastic. He knew exactly where that one player was the entire time. And throughout the rest of the round, it seems like they knew more than Secret did all the time.
Yeah, and intel play on Bank is primordial. I mean,
yeah.
Mozzie, that's why the operator gets picked so much. The combo with Mute, didn't really see it so much in here, but Pulse plus Mozzie make sure you keep tabs on your opponents and they can't know where you're at every single moment. Drone play lacking from Secret, but now we're looking at map 2 Coastline, another one that is a powerhouse map for Team Empire. This is really something that they shine on, as we saw with at least normally Clubhouse, if we bar away what happened yesterday.
I'd be scared going into that because on Bank they had space. They had a chance to roam, they had a chance to get away. They're not going to have that on Clubhouse. It's too easy to shut it down. There's too much view you can get from outside. So I don't know. They gotta win all of their initial gunfights, get up in numbers, and then start just, you know, slowing down.
Well, Jackal ban on Coastline again, or
on Coastline? No, I don't think they need to ban Jack on Coastline. Not at all. Because, I mean, Coastline, we pretty much know what's going to happen on the map. We know what the rumors are pretty much going to be. It's just all about execution. And this map, even though I did predict Team Secret, Empire, they've just been such a better team in regards to just fragging out, period. So I feel like with a more congested map, this is going to be in Empire's favor.
So strength in this one for Secret. What do they need to fix to really make it work on Coastline? Because the roam play, as Veli was talking about, is not going to be as strong on Coast compared to Bank for Secret.
I would be terrified for my defense, and then I would take something out of G2's book and ban Jaeger, so on your attacks you can clear out stairs, aqua, everything, right?
Well, ban Jaeger, but then he goes and plays Vigil. What do you do with Joystick?
Well, you wouldn't ban the Jaeger because you're afraid of Joystick on Jaeger. That has nothing to do with it. Exactly. It's only to get rid of the ADSs so you can clear certain areas.
I know some people just watching at home, they're like, oh, they're just banning Jaeger, so Joystick isn't going to play it. No. It gets a bit deeper than that.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to taking sites as well. You get rid of Jaeger and the ADSs are gone. You're going to have to take a look at Hookah entirely differently now. You go ahead and attack Billiards as well. So if they plan for that, I mean, that would be amazing to see, period.
Yeah, I like how a year ago Billiards was considered the worst site on the map, and now it's become the most played and the most favored on it. Kitchen is a 50-50 when it comes to Coastline. Any strong site that you're looking for here for Empire specifically, or is it just they're going to be good no matter what?
I mean, every site is viable and strong on that map. Arguably, Penthouse has a few issues for most teams because of reverse repel and big windows. But Empire's Kitchen and Empire's Blue Bar is extremely strong. Joystick is so confident around the blue bar area. So I think he's going to hang out there for most of the game.
And also versatility, I mean, the verticality on Coastline is going to be provided. If there's any first floor site that's picked for Team Secret, I feel like Empire, they're going to dominate and own it like they did last map. Whenever you have players above from hatches or soft destruction through the floors, they take advantage of it.
You're talking about soft destruction. Now, Alex, I direct myself to you. Buck has been an operator that gets banned every now and then on Coastline. We've seen a lot of operators bringing breaching charges on not just one, but two even. What's the mindset behind it, and maybe behind banning Buck as well?
I mean, first off, you remove the soft destruction and nades. That's about it. On a map like Coastline, I'd just be running a Gridlock or a Jackal instead and use the secondary there.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. Now, gentlemen, closing thoughts. Any scorelines? Are you going to change your mind for this one?
No, man, the Russians are too good, but I'm still holding on to Team Secret, man. I believe.
Alex?
2-0.
2-0.
This guy is exactly what I like. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We're going through this here on the analyst desk. Map number 2, possibly our final one. We'll be deciding who goes to the grand final. It's Team Empire versus Team Secret. On to you, Blue and Stokes.
Thank you so very much, Gassan. We're going to Coastline between these two teams, Team Secret and Team Empire. Once again, Team Empire going to be on attack. There's the map stats for you guys, but if you thought Bank was easy for Empire to attack, this map is a lot more congested, and you can see almost every single piece of rotation from outside. So this is going to be very hard fought from Team Secret. As Zeronic said, these early gunfights are going to be extremely important. Team Secret going to be removing Habana as to make it to where you cannot do hard destruction on the inside of the square drop. Over so you cannot get rid of smoke, playing inside of couches.
Makes it much easier, of course, for the defenders just to hold on to that hookah billiard site, which has become the most popular site as of late. Capital, again, we talked about that last map. We see him banned up pretty much all the time right now, just due to the general utility that he provides for attackers. Not much of a reasoning beyond that. Mira, again, basically the same thing. It's also been commonplace in the meta for well over a year now, so considering that, players probably not going to want to shift away from that, even if they want to bring Mira into play. And then finally, for our final ban, Valkyrie, actually. So we're going to have both Echo along with Maestro in play for this game.
Not a bad ban list at all, especially with the Valkyrie ban, where you see her commonplace at least on Coastline, but we don't see her too often. She's fantastic on this map, as you can get a lot of intel off of palm trees as well as ruins. There's so many places to put these black eye cams, and you don't want an IQ walking around for a straight minute and a half trying to find all of those cameras. So just go ahead and alleviate that issue by banning her out, but we already are going to have Dokkaebi picked up by Empire, but this time it's going to be played by Shepard instead. Joystick allocate himself over to something that is actually fantastic on this map. We're going to have Nomad selected by Joystick. 3 air jabs, 2 staircases. You isolate both of them with an air jab, and there's practically no way to get rid of it unless you have an impact. You immediately walk into it, get knocked down on your butt. It doesn't do any damage, but it does lock you into an animation that all of a sudden makes you practically a freebie for whoever peeks you during that time.
We're going to see the quick switcheroo as well from Alem. So as far as the attackers are concerned, as far as Team Empire are concerned, currently Alems is playing on a Maestro, but he actually 6-picked away from that, went over towards the Echo instead. Not going to be too surprising of a 6-pick though. They will have to adjust their play accordingly. And since the attackers do not have an IQ, well, it's going to be a little bit harder to detect those yokai drones, meaning they more than likely will be a factor going into the late round here, as we have seen become the case multiple times in the past. The utility from that, those little drones have the capability to instantly interrupt the animation for planting the diffuser, meaning that you can instantly win a round if the attackers are planting at 0 time, or if you have the Echo somewhere else on the map. It needs to be alive, of course, but with the capability to use those drones.
Bomb located by attackers.
Well, we are going to see Dan on Ash as well, as only 15 seconds in now, or at least 20. So we do have a statistic pop up for you guys. Secret only play a hard breacher 23% of the time on Coastline, while Empire has played it on every single Coastline attack. Thank you so much once again to the boys over at CGG for everything they've done across the weekend. Team Empire, though, they routinely run the exact same setup on each map. We see it obviously differentiate for exactly what they need, but Team Empire is that team that do the exact same thing over and over and over again until you figure out a way to counter it. Coastline, again, you can be a lot more aggressive, and we're going to see that from Feral as he does actually rotate over towards main stairs.
Feral picking that up first off is going to be a bit of a slow start for the guys on Empire, but they corrected. Scyther is able to trade it back. Funkers rotating around service entry, though, picks up a second for his team and is looking for a personal second in a moment, though. But Dan, he's approaching towards him relatively quickly and is looking for the immediate trade out here. A nice lineup through the wall, and it is going to be able to take Funkers down. He's on the floor right now. Dan, though, doesn't necessarily know this yet. He's going to have to make a push into security. Nope, he's going to use the breaching charge to confirm it instead, and there you go. Confirmation onto Funkers.
So when you do get downed, you actually leak a blood trail on the ground that you're able to gain information from. So obviously, when you are on the Pro League settings, you don't have any score. When somebody gets down, you don't get the plus 50 for injure. All you know is that you shot some guy and he might be down. Obviously, at this level, they can more or less count the bullets and say, I impacted him this many times. He's up, he's more than likely down. But that blood trail always helps you out a little bit, especially when you have to go find your prey later on and you just follow the trail, and all of a sudden, you have your kill lying and waiting for you. Dan and the rest of Team Empire now, though, actually have a little bit of a fight left in them. They need to try and establish some upstairs presence. Dan, we did see him working on his way up main stairs, more than likely going to be working through luggage to gain Aquarium. Yes, sir, as he will take down Aquarium, make sure that no one's inside, and this is where the plan is more than likely going to be going off. The diffuser is in the hands of Shepard, as the first Toxic Babe hits the floor. We saw Shepard droning over towards Cool Vibes, but he's actually rotated over closer to Aquarium now, as he does actually move in with Dan. Karzeka with a frag grenade, though, takes down Limbs, and all of a sudden this gets a lot easier. Dan rotating his way all the way through, does take down Leon, continues to get aggressive. They have the pinch they need, but Dan can't land the shots. Quickly rotates in, switches over to the pistol, still can't find him. Karzeka's been down, Meepy takes one, peeks back for the second, and it's Meepy with the triple kill to keep them alive. That's how you fight out of a box.
Meepy coming out of nowhere with this clutch as well. Beautiful stuff and bit of usage of the SMG-11. He's able to find these picks one by one. Meanwhile, Empire just needed to calm down, stop playing so aggressively for 2 seconds and recompose themselves. They would have been able to close that out, but sadly wasn't the case. They fall to pieces in trying to over-aggress, and as a result of that, Meepy pulls out an incredible clutch.
your only chance of getting out of that situation is pick your gunfight that you think you're going to win. And that's exactly what we saw. We saw him immediately challenge Cool Vibes, take down Karzeka, and he knows that the other two were pressuring from Aquarium. That's all the information in the world that he needs. Isolates those two gunfights in a hell of a round for Meepy.
So into round number 2 we are going to go. Switching up the defense now, since we did have a successful first hold from Team Secret, is going to take us over towards the kitchen and service entry.
All right, well, as you said, kitchen and service is going to be the next site, and this site extremely important for vertical play. Obviously, especially at the pro level, we see it on every single site where if there is any soft floor, it's going to be destructed by Buck or the defense to try and set up some angles downstairs to isolate doors out, things along those lines. But specifically on this area, you can see almost every single spot downstairs except the floor above the actual delivery area, which is hard. So you actually have to end up going into penthouse and establishing angles across. Otherwise, you can't get an exact line of sight into there. You actually have to do the floor as well as the sidewall in order to get any vision. But Team Secret needs to try and isolate that out and lock it down. Otherwise, this is more than likely going to be a pretty easy round for Team Empire, especially if they go up man advantage. So you actually brought both well, they are lacking one, but two of the most powerful intelligence operators on the offense. We have Scyther with the Lion, as well as we have the Dokkaebi being played by Shepard.
They very much want to go for the complete lockdown of Secret's defensive attack here, because obviously they still play a pretty spread out attack themselves, or excuse me, they still play a pretty spread out defense themselves. And as such, they want to attempt to restrict that in any way that they can. Remove some of the unpredictability of the matchup, if that's going to be a possibility at all. Dan, playing with the big window, leading into penthouse here, trying to see if he can fish out anyone from Secret, but that's not going to be successful. He does have a drone established onto the inside of the site right now to tell what's going on towards service entry. Not actually going to see a whole lot of defenses set up from there, so that info will get gathered over towards his teammates, and probably is going to be used soon once they're able to move in and get control of areas like VIP, which is really only being resisted at this point, since we just saw Feral rotate back downstairs, I believe by Leon, who's sitting on the inside right over on top of a hatch right now.
Fantastic setup from Empire here to isolate the upstairs. They have Dan on double window, forcing Leon back into theater, as well as pressuring from inside of guitar. Dan will now burn the ADS to make sure that they can get some resistance onto the defense. Frag grenade, last one for Karzeka, so he can possibly throw that into theater, but they'll quickly, actually it's going to be Feral taking down Shepard. Quick shot from upstairs. Leon will lose the gunfight though to Karzeka.
Going to be a quick trade from Karzeka, and here you can see what Stokes was talking about at the beginning of the round, the amount of vision that you're going to be able to have on your opponents. Once you get access to these rooms, it can start the soft destruction. We can see Feral's kill there from earlier in the round as well. So Karzeka will continue to do his reconstruction work here. Quite a bit of vision already on to our B site. Now has to get his team in position to go for the actual execute, though. They've only got a minute left to do it.
And that is one thing that is fantastic about Team Empire. Feral with a capitalization on that kill. Impact, Pokeball, whatever you want to call it. Joystick dies. This round is starting to look a lot like Team Secret's. Team Empire, though, one thing I will say about them, their ability to run down this clock and just continuously apply pressure at the same time is literally uncontested. It is truly something to watch as they continue to break open this top floor, looking for any more picks before they actually try to barrel down on site. They are not afraid to run this timer down. Pre-fires from Karzeka into some usual positions, but he comes up short. Dan, though, over on main stairs takes down Fonkers, and all of a sudden we're equalized on man advantage. But Karzeka as well as Dan have had quite a bit of damage done to them, which means Meepy could find himself some kills with those toxic babes.
Scyther may need to take charge for the team here now. He's going to carry Diffuser as they try to work their way in. Dan will lead behind him instead. So dealing with the barbed wire, only 10 seconds remaining for this execute to happen. So we'll start to see toxic babes get thrown on the ground. A nice snipe from Scyther, but he's going to have to push back toxic smoke. Karzeka also finding a pickup here. They're trying to look for a plant position, and they are going to be able to find it. It cannot get interrupted here now, though. Dan making the run around, and Karzeka stops the interruption of the plant as Meepy goes down. So that's Empire picking up the second.
This is what I'm saying. Team Empire's ability to rotate people into the proper areas that they need. Dan notices out that Scyther has time to enable to rotate in, especially after they get that early pick that they need kitchen pressure. So he drops off from the delivery door with Scyther, rotates over to the window of kitchen, rips that down. They have Karzeka upstairs on the buck. Very easy round for them at the end of the day. All they needed was that pick inside of the actual delivery pantry area in order to make that easy. And all of a sudden, Team Empire has all the angles in the world that they could possibly want. That's why, to me, it's truly incredible how far down they will run this timer, and yet there's no emotion at all. They just quick fist bump, and they go back to their day.
It's all part of the game for them. 10 seconds left. They still managed to successfully make a push, and with at least 2, if not all 3, of the smoke toxic grenades remaining, they are still able to make their way in on a one-dimensional push through the service entry and win out the round. Truly incredible stuff from the folks on Empire. We'll hark back on that on the desk if they end up closing things out here on this map, as they do currently have the advantage. They take this map, they move on. If Secret takes it, we go to map 3. On to our next site, though, as we're going to head into the double bars here. Folks on Secret are not going to stick around on the kitchen and service entry after that loss.
And again, not to dwell too much on, obviously, how Team Empire handles their attack, but usually when you see things like that happen, it runs down to those 10 seconds, you'll just try and see a full-on force onto site. Instead, Empire still keeps their troops exactly where they need them to isolate rotations, as well as continuously put pressure on that pantry area, because that's where they wanted to put the diffuser down. Again, they could have found some trouble with those toxic babes, but that quick shot to all of a sudden throw everything into the advantage of Empire, especially with the rotations to forcibly clinch down on the last man alive. Truly incredible stuff from Team Empire on attack. Team Secret, once again, these early gunfights so very important. They're able to get that early pressure. It has made it a lot easier for them to win these rounds. But again, plenty of utility-based in information for Team Empire. They're not bringing the Dokkaebi this time or the Lion, but they have Shepard on the Jackal. And we're used to seeing Joystick play this operator, but that's just how flexible Team Empire has become. Again, we usually see them with a very similar lineup as in utility-wise, but everyone on this team able to do their due diligence.
So we'll start to see Empire force themselves into the building here relatively soon with the limited time remaining. Drone should give away the fact that Feral is hiding out just behind the bar there. And they'll be able to figure out his position from that. Unfortunately, killing him is going to be slightly more difficult. There you go. They've got the reconfirmation that he is still indeed hiding behind the bar. He has not shifted from that position, so he is going to be ready to take a fight if the pressure comes his way. In the meantime, Karzeka also starting to move into areas like VIP, isolating out that little bit of pressure for them. Secret, in the meantime, waits very patiently. Joystick, though, making his push through. And Karzeka is actually going to be able to get the better of Bonkers, taking him out. Dan also eliminates Alems. We still have Feral somewhere nearby here, I believe, but apparently not. He's rotated way back downstairs now. He's been able to completely abandon ship here and put himself into a much safer position.
The main issue right now is that he's going to have so much vertical pressure. Joystick just waiting by the hatch in case he does rotate. He pre-fires but doesn't find anything. Feral trying to battle back from underneath, but it's going to be Dan to strike first as Leon will fall. Quite a bit of damage done to Team Empire, but so much heat has come to Team Secret as Joystick maybe fights back, but Dan to shut him down from cool vibes, and Team Empire. 2 quick rounds.
Another masterclass execution there from Empire in the way that they slowly pinch out the hold there from Team Secret. A good attempt from Secret to stem it back. Once again, they waste a lot of the time, but with Team Empire, that just does not seem to matter. They can execute on any time situation, any time of the round itself, whether it's early or late. They will make it work. And as such, now as we enter our 4th round, well, we can at least start to see Secret rotate back to a site that's worked for them before, and then try to tie this up at 2-2 if they find some success there again. We're heading back upstairs into hookah and billiards for the next round.
And you can see how fast that round was comparative to the last. Quite a few of these sites on Coastline, you're able to isolate out all of the pathing and rotation that the defense wants to take extremely early on from outside. And that's what Zeronic was touching on earlier, is that there's going to be quite a bit of outside play as opposed to Bank, where it was surprising the amount of kills and pressure that we saw from the outside of the map. On Coastline, you can do that all day, all except really on Kitchen. That's the only area where you actually have to fight for the top stairs pressure in order to get the vertical angle set up to make sure that no one can actually rotate in between sites downstairs. Everywhere else, though, you can practically play it from outside and get all the picks that you need on the offense in order to get a plant down.
So another round has begun. Another attempt for Secret to try and leverage control to bring themselves back into it, and is going to be on that easier site to hold. We saw Empire push this before, unfortunately ended up losing far too many players on the push itself. Couldn't make things work at the end of the day. So Secret started things out well here, now looking to build on top of that once again. But here comes Empire. They're out once again, ready to push this lead further and further into their favor. Get this closeout to send them into the final for that potential rematch versus G2 or against a new challenger that has stepped up here, and an old teammate as well, as Fours stands in the way of G2 in our next match.
You know, the possibilities here, not endless, as we only have 4 teams left, but you can either have a Russian final or a Russian against Europeans of different areas final. That's really it. G2 is kind of a collection of all of the Infinity Stones, isn't it?
Yeah, very much the case. Moneyball, you could say, to a certain extent there. As we've got everybody from Team Empire working their way in now, starting this push forward and looking to clear out the defenses from Secret. Feral will be positioning himself closer to where Dan is trying to push his way in from now, over on the top side. So we're trying to take him out. Dan, of course, doing a little bit of drone work. Most of the team will still be doing that at this point, as there's still plenty of time to go before they're going to be stressed for time. And as we've already seen, Empire is still very comfortable, no matter the time of the situation. Dan finds a Lems, and a Lems peeks right into the crosshairs of him. So it's an easy first pickup for Dan to give him a 5v4.
Empire, once again, just recognizing out more than likely where these roamers are going to be and pinching out early on. I mean, we're not even halfway through the game yet, and they already have most of the downstairs in their control. Obviously, they do need to still isolate Aquarium, as we don't see too often people focus on that hookah area in order to get a plant down, but we still might see that. It still might be in the cards. Either now fighting downstairs as someone is inside of Square. I don't know exactly who that is. It's going to be the Jaeger of Fonkers as they actually trade out equally, but Dan from the door, once again, these Empire members assisting each other in the fight.
Secret growing weaker here, doing some damage to Empire, but it doesn't really seem to matter all that much, to be honest here. Take a quick look at the replay from Dan's second pickup there as he continues to harass. And again, that's what we were looking to see from Empire. Dan and Joystick come into full. Dan, again, really making his mark at this land specifically. Joystick has been the highlight prior to this, but it's really been Dan, in my opinion, doing a lot of the heavy lifting for Team Empire so far, especially when it comes to their group stage performance. He's continued to do that in this round with a double pickup, looking to take it even further here. But again, time starting to get a little bit low. 45 seconds left. Empire still quite a few seconds away from being able to successfully execute here. Leon's going to try to get aggressive as we see Feral find his first pickup for his team. And Dan will now mark a third. He's going to have to deal with a flank in a moment, though, as Leon pushed up towards the main stairs. Dan, though, seems to be aware of it, but apparently not. No, Leon takes him down on top of the primary stairs and brings it into a 3v2. Still advantage to Empire.
As you can see, Empire has all the angles in the world they need. Leon falls, Meepy's still alive. We saw 1 versus 3 last time, but it's Shepard to take him down, and Team Empire still healthily in the lead. Overall, as we can see from Team Secret, though, again, it's a lot of those solo roam, solo plays that we see from them downstairs. Team Empire has been so good on information, and they just immediately pinch out all of this. They even kept IQ downstairs inside of the kitchen hallway. So right when Pulse jumped down from the square, rotated in towards the lobby or Lamborghini doorway, as we all love to say, you have Ash being played by Dan on the main stairs, and you have IQ inside of the kitchen hallway. He literally just walked into a kill box. He ends up finding 1 kill, but immediately after that, Empire with a quick switch up, and that's all she wrote. Oh my God. Okay, Feral. All right.
Nice little swing and a hit right there from Feral. This was the flank from Leon that slowly started to give them a bit of a chance, but ultimately, again, that sight pressure at the end of the round just far too much for the folks on Secret to deal with, so Empire takes it yet again at 3-1.
It was like I was talking about before. Empire's ability to shut down the pathing that you want to take is something truly incredible. It was a great play by Leon to rotate up and shut down Dan on the main stairs, but right when that information comes to Empire after he gets that kill, he's already screwed. His only safe route would have possibly been to rotate down to Cool Vibes, but then you still have to worry about a possibility of them being downstairs. Instead, they're just holding the path of greatest importance, which is going to be that rotate through luggage into Aquarium, quick kill onto Leon, all of a sudden shoving it into a 1v2, and once again, Team Empire healthily in the lead.
So just a couple seconds here, as you can see our setup phase coming to a close. We're going to enter the action phase now, with the members of Team Empire spawning once again. Their second to last attack here. They've got 2 more attempts to try and close this out. They could very likely push all the way up to a 5-1 now that they have already taken down a successful win on the site that we've seen so far. The only other win from Secret on here. If not, we'd be looking at something more akin to a 4-2, but I would say 5-1 is definitely a likelihood here, unless we see a major strat change from Secret. Potentially another pause from Helby is necessary in the future here, as unfortunately the current plan from Secret is bringing them close. A lot of 1vx situations at the end of the day, but not enough in order to close out.
especially as we get closer to switching sides. Recognize out how Team Secret are using these roamers. Again, we've talked about it plenty throughout this, but they are more on solo roams. As you can see, we have one person inside of offices and the likes of Fonkers. There is not a single soul. All he has is electronic drones rolling on the ground near him, whereas opposed to Empire always assisting each other in gunfights. Even on offense, they play tight-knit. G2 a very long time ago, I believe it was Pengu that said this, said we have a 5-second rule. If you're not within 5 seconds of someone else in order to assist them, then you're too far away from your team. And Team Secret might be trying to apply that right now. Does have some pressure from upstairs, but a quick shot from Bonkers. He doesn't even need the help. He doesn't need any of it. Dan's inside of Kitchen trying to battle back. He takes down a Limbs, but there's still one member inside of Sunrise to deal with.
Dan gonna try to look to isolate out that player now. Farrello, a great start, or excuse me, Fonkers, a great start from him. We're gonna have to see him fall back though. He's very, very low. He's gonna see a nice little replay of those kills once again. It's all going very quiet across the map right now. Neither team taking any huge risks. Dan though trying to line up something to work with, but no, Fonkers claims yet another kill.
Oh, Dan.
Up to 3 now. Dan flashing himself as he tries to work his way in, gives Fonkers a warning. He'll be forced back though, is not able to get out of there in time or get to a safe position, so Dan finds the trade. And at the moment, it's the only saving grace here for Team Empire on this round. I need to see Shepard come into this as well soon.
Those stun grenades, if they're within a certain parameter of you, will always full white. So it appears that Fonkers might have been too close to the door. I thought he had the 180 in order to not be blinded, but clearly wrong about that. Team Empire, though, actually falling now as Dan will fall downstairs. He's been doing so good on Ash so far. Shepard, last one alive, has 3 to find, has plenty of Jackal tracks as well as he actually just uses his first one, which is definitely not something we see from Team Empire too often. Usually when they are trying to shut down the roam game, they use those pretty early on. Pharaoh will fall, though, but still sight pressure by Leon and Meepy, and that's really all you need. 2 SMG-11s at Nitro Cell and 3 Toxic Babes. With 20 seconds left, it's going to take a lot from Shepard to win this round out.
A lot more work to do here for Shepard, especially with Toxic Grenades still being into the way. Just going to try to take a duel over here towards the doorway as he finishes popping it open, and now will attempt to run back in, but as you might expect, Leon will quickly shut that down. They had the 2-man setup to stop that. And that's Team Secret finally netting themselves a second onto the board here.
Very close contention between these two teams. On multiple rounds, we've only really seen Team Empire with like full domination over an entire round, whereas Team Secret's been able to fight their way through them, and not in the best fashion. That last round was actually pretty dominant by them. They did have a 3-man up at the time, and Leon trying to catch up to a drone in the air and definitely testing out those flicks. This was the big highlight play though by Fonkers. Able to recognize that exactly where they're going to push from, and just Scyther peeking right into bullets. Buddy, those things kill you. Make sure not to put your face in them.
Yeah, tried to line up an angle, as you could see, but just not where it needed to be at the end of the day. Fonkers, such a tight angle against Scyther, but does eventually win that fight out. After a few more players shut things down, finally we see some consistency here from Secret to be able to shut it out, and not in a crazy traded fashion either. They do get some nice control in that final 2v1 and win it without much of a scare this time. Team Empire now must look to respond and either take the 3-3 half or reaffirm the lead. So we're going to have one more kitchen and service entry attack for them on the final round of the half.
Coastline swings in very weird ways as opposed to either it being offensive-sided or defensive-sided. It really does vary on teams. A lot of the maps do that. Obviously, for instance, Clubhouse, very defender-sided. It's always been defender-sided ever since the beginning of time, really. But as of late, as we've seen with teams that are more aggressive on the offense or are really good at shutting down rotations, it all of a sudden becomes offensive-sided. Coastline, the exact same story. It really just depends, and I honestly think this is the biggest map for this. It really just depends on the teams and their play style. Right now, it's seeming a little bit more offensive-sided, really, not just because Team Empire's in the lead, but they've done such a good job at clearing this roam game early on. Just sometimes it's been slipping through slipping through the cracks for them as Team Secret's been able to battle back.
Drone ready.
So Empire once again starting their drone presence early here, going to be trying to clear out the upstairs area. It's towards VIP end. the penthouse just to make sure that they can deal with some of the defensive pressure that's going to be here from Team Secret. You got Fonkers waiting out over here towards 90. Leon once again on the inside of the site. So generally speaking, the same setup that we saw from them the last time this was played. Unfortunately though, this was dealt with relatively easily last time by Team Empire, and was a large part of why their success ended up working out, because they were able to fish that out, then use the intel to execute. Karzeka starts us off strong this time with an early pick onto Leon, and that should already be penthouse cleared out now, unless they're going to recommit Fonkers to the inside, which I don't think they'll do.
All right, well, we are going to have Dan open up the bathroom hatch. Karzeka, actually, from Guitar, takes down Leon inside of Theater. All of a sudden, this is falling into Team Empire's hands as, once again, they're shutting down all of these rotations upstairs, making things very difficult. Maybe, though, is going to apparently put a mark in the floor for Limbs to possibly toss a Nitro. So I believe in the bathroom, if they do drop, was this joystick on the roof holding that rotation as well. So, again, Team Empire are not afraid to try and knock down this time. It's going to be a Nitro Cell onto the bed. He's got to pick it up. Once again, it flies through. That's going to be an easy kill. Bye-bye, Karzeka. No more buck upstairs. Not really expecting the pulse to be downstairs, apparently.
Surprised Karzeka didn't hear it the first time. Maybe
he was on drone.
Oh, he's on drones. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. Dan going to be able to find the next frag, though, as Dan continues to somehow find a Lems in almost every single round so far. So he's going to go down to him once again. And now we're left with just Meepy and Fonkers. Meepy on the site. Fonkers was roaming upstairs. Yep, and he still is, or excuse me, he's moved downstairs now, but he's still on that side of the building over towards office. Going to be trying to hold on to his control here and eventually work his way back to help out the team. He can take an off angle, but it won't work. Fonkers gets picked by Dan, and then he finishes it up with one final kill. Dan is on absolute fire right now as he affirms that 4-2 lead for his team at the end of the half.
It's just truly incredible how at almost every single cross, Empire is able to shut down a rotation, right? It's truly something to awe at, because Empire seems to be always a thorn in those roamers' sides of Team Secret, even late round. Again, they more than likely are going to be having drones placed throughout the map, especially inside of prep phase. That's your main objective. One person finds out where the actual site is. The rest of you spread your drones out throughout the map in order to get information at any point in time. And Empire apparently doing a very, very good job of that.
And now it's put them in a great position. Same as our last map, just a few more rounds needed by them in order to close out this series and push them onwards into the grand finals yet again at another major here as their own dynasty continues to grow and rival that of some of the other teams in this tournament, like G2.
Definitely going to be truly incredible to see who they will be facing later today. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is only our first semifinal of the day. We still have G2 versus 4s later on, so the excitement is just building right now, especially after that show match. Let me tell you, that was something, wasn't it?
I kicked some butt in that.
Yeah, you did. But Team Secret now on offense, and are going to have to try and find a way through this forest, because right now it's not looking too hot. For their offensive side, they're definitely going to want to try and stack up their roam clear instead of just having one man by himself with a drone in front of him trying to clear it. As we've seen from Team Empire on their roam, they always have somebody extremely close to take that team fight with instead of just having the 1v1s.
So now the prep phase is over. We are going to see Secret get brought out for their very first attack and apparently take a little bit of damage here too, as Farrell ends up taking a bit of DPS from the window here. He's going to end up going down to about 60% of his health. Not at the end of the world, but certainly not the greatest either. Thankfully, they can keep the Nomad in a pretty passive position and essentially just support with the air jabs. So again, not a huge loss for this point in the round.
Team Secret with this lineup tells me that they are going for top pressure. They want to isolate every single staircase, make sure it is almost impossible for anyone to rotate upstairs, especially with Nomad and Gridlock. That's exactly what you want to see to try and shut down this road game of Empire. Unless they have an impact, or actually both of them, you're not going to be able to fight through that many track stingers, as well as an air jab that's placed at a very peculiar angle, usually on those staircases. Oh, that's the head of Bandit. Karzeka might be leaning into a Limbs, and he will! Karzeka falls. First kill of the round goes to Team Secret, as they do have presence on the east side. All right, well, Leon now top of main stairs as the Jackal, trying to force his way through luggage. So we do see Shepard actually lying out straight for him right now, and a quick rotate from Leon. They do have quite a bit of map pressure upstairs now over on that east side, but obviously
plenty of pressure for Empire inside of Aquarium as well as on site, as you would surely hope so. But Team Secret wasting quite a bit of time. Alim's actually peeking out. Shepard removes his head. Alims, what are you doing, my friend? I assume he was trying to clear the door of any view lines or anything, but there's not even a Legion on the field, not exactly knowing what he was looking for with the electronics scanner out at that time, especially peeking so aggressively into Aquarium when Team Empire, more often than not, fights for that map pressure presence inside of there. Feral actually will down Dan behind the couch, but that's more than likely going to be thought out of pretty early on. And yes, it's going to actually be an even trade. No, we just did flip through that camera, so Feral is still up. It's only Dan down, so they're still playing cool vibes as well.
Scyther trying to re-push here and save his teammate's life, and that's going to be a possibility as he is the only one pushing in from hookah balcony at the moment. They've got a track onto one of them as well. We are going to see the air jab go to the ground. They should be pretty easy to deal with though. Feral will move in, finally get the confirmation onto the kill, but now Falkers along with Leon are going to go down to Shepard and Scyther just a few seconds later. Down onto Feral and Meepy now to clutch this out for Team Secret. They're about to do it, finishing frags onto Scyther and Shepard, and now everything on Joystick, but he's so controlled, so composed in this situation. Only 30 seconds left on the clock as well, but no, he's gonna get pushed for the 90 haul, retreats into VIP. They'll keep him alive for now. He's brought it down to the 1v1, even HP across both of the remaining players as well. Feral keeps trying to push out into the hallway to put some pressure against Joystick, but it's not working. Joystick retreats once again to the inside of VIP and just continues to wait out the time to delay this further and further into this ending point of the round, but it's not gonna work. Feral successfully makes it to the site. We'll start the plant. He's gotta commit to this under the low time, but no! Feral jumps off of it, gets the last kill on Joystick with just 2 seconds on the clock, and it's Sacred that pick up their opening round of the second half.
Feral versus Joystick in a 1v1. What else could you possibly want to watch inside of Rainbow Six Siege? Feral comes out on top. Had to deal with those track stingers that were down on the ground, and obviously that's going to draw Joystick's attention. Recognizing now that he needs to create a path through those, otherwise he's going to get slowed down, take quite a bit of damage. It's going to make the gunfight a lot harder. But as he's trying to deal with those track stingers, Feral peeks out, removes his head for him. And you have a round for Team Secret, drawing us one step closer in order to have them take the lead. But overall, fantastic defense by Team Empire, especially Joystick when it came down to that 1 versus 2. Again, cuts off the rotation, knowing that one of them has to cross over to help the other get the diffuser down. Ends up killing the man with the diffuser inside of a hookah.
5 seconds remaining.
Tries to play the diffuser, but a little bit of outplay by Feral, especially with those track stingers already down. He did have the power position, but just did not have too much on the timer. So between the two, some fantastic play, but Team Secret coming out on top of the pile.
Empire comes very close, though, to still winning that one out, so they are also going to re-attempt this same site once again. Back into hookah billiards once more for them to try and close things out, retake the lead at 5-3, push up to 7 so that they can move on into the grand final here. Operator lineup going to look pretty similar as well. We do see Echo back in for Dan. There's a lot of damage to be done on that MP5 SD, along with the usual utility that we can see leverage into any of those late round situations if we have a repeat of what just happened in the last round. Joystick will still stick on Jaeger, and I believe most of our operators are remaining pretty similar here across the board.
Especially with how early on Team Secret had pressure on the east side of the map as they were trying to rotate their way across, obviously, and clear things as they go. It actually took them quite a while to get some site presence, and there was quite a few blunders that we saw, especially with the likes of Alims with that IQ scanner, where he just had it out on his wrist, just standing in the middle of luggage and immediately gets shot in his face. You can't be doing that, especially against Team Empire, who will always fight for those rooms that are directly off of site. They don't want you to have that presence, and they try to pull that away from you. So, just a little bit more of awareness, and Leon's definitely going to be aware as Shepard will fall, and he actually gets right up on the double window. This is a extremely powerful position that we see most teams allocate themselves towards. It's just going to be a man on a drone. He sees him behind the tissue box. Obviously, tissue boxes, not bulletproof.
Cover me, reloading!
Quite the case. So Shepard will be lost in the early round. The utility that goes with Mozzie now gone along with that, along with the first minute or so on the clock now. The rest of Secret, they'll start their push back in from the offices here. Leon is going to be able to catch Joystick this time around here, just before he catches him on the flank there. And that's yet another advantage going by the way of Secret. Leon, a huge pickup there to make the rest of this round easier.
That's exactly what you want to see from Team Secret. Bonker's going to cut off Karzeka's rotate as well. Team Secret, though, with the team play on offense, don't try and challenge Joystick by yourself. Bring somebody else. Feral has Leon by his side. They peek from 2 separate positions. Immediately win out that fight. Echo will now be identified out as Dan. Scyther playing cool vibes, can possibly cut off the rotation. He will be able to take down Fonkers, who's rotating through Kitchen, but he's got a long road ahead of him. Still 4 people remaining on the side of Team Secret. Secret. Gridlock tracked on almost every single staircase you could possibly want. Meepy will take a little bit of damage. A random Nitro cell is not going to find anything. And a Jackal track, just for good measure, all of a sudden makes this extremely difficult.
There you go. Farrell finishes things off, and that is yet another round going up on the board for Team Secret as they look to bring this back under their own control and send us into a third map. They're getting closer. The cracks are starting to show here in the defense from Team Empire.
Well, there's going to be a timeout called by Team Empire. I want to talk things over as all of a sudden we're practically at 0-0. We still have plenty of rounds to be played, but we are in an even playing field. Once again, if you guys are not aware of how our timeouts work, you have 30 seconds to talk to your coach. If you are a player, once those 30 seconds are up, they have to flip those mics up. They can no longer have any discussion, but obviously they can have some discussion amongst themselves.
And so, that timeout will be expiring very soon, though, which will take us into our next round here. Secret will be using this as a chance to just reaffirm some things that they have been discussing over these past rounds, and more importantly, they've been using successfully the great early cutoffs to catch some of the roaming presence here from Empire. The analysts had talked about that was going to be a key piece of this matchup. We mentioned that as well, dealing with that early roaming presence, knocking it out, and making sure that you have those 5v3 advantages. And just on that last round, we saw a perfect example of that. As Secret were able to leverage that early control. Leon got the catch onto Joystick as well when he attempted to make the push that normally we'd see Joystick win. Normally we'd see him push and get the double kill against Team Secret, and that would have been the start of the downfall for them, but not the case. They're starting to turn these early fights around. That's exactly what they need to bring this game back, as they now tied it at 4-4.
Well, the funny thing is for Team Empire's defense is that Joystick didn't have any assistance. Throughout all of Bank, we saw roamers extremely close to other members of their team in order to get assistance when needed. That time around, there was no one there. Joystick was on an island by himself inside of offices. Team Secret all of a sudden barges in, able to claim Joystick's life. And once again, the early picks from Leon have been incredible so far throughout their offensive side.
So another setup phase here for Empire, as they quickly look to take control. Now a different site, of course, since they're going to be moving on from this. They're heading over to Kitchen and Service instead, a site that we saw quite a bit of play from on our last half as well. But coins flip this time. We'll see how Empire tries to play the style into this one. Quite a bit of aggression is normally used, and that's looking like it's going to remain the case. Dan changing up his own operator now, trying to avoid some of the early drone intel by going over to the Vigil and being able to hide himself from those cameras and the drones themselves. But now we have Secret out, so let's take a look and see how they're going to be able to once again counter out this pressure from Empire.
Well, same focus point here for Secret as they start things off on offices. Will more than likely clear horizontally. Does have to worry about one person inside of security. No, they will quickly fall off and go up main stairs, but definitely going to have some featsies for Jackal to find. Going to be Vigil, which is going to be Dan, who just rotated up the main staircase. As we do have a statistic pop up, Secret normally struggles to get entry kills on Coastline, 39% the time they end up actually getting them, but have been leading Empire 5-3 on opening kills. And again, that all comes back to that early aggression we saw from Team Secret on their roam game, where they were able to start things off. They somehow still lost a couple of those rounds. But so far throughout their offense, Team Secret has been starting things off right. And once again, Leon takes down Dan. That's Vigil, making things a whole hell of a lot easier from that presence of limbs to tack on. Shepard falls, and all of a sudden they have all the pressure in the world they could possibly want on Kitchen. Still have to worry about Karzeka and Joystick being upstairs. There's only one remaining member of Team Empire, and the likes of Scyther playing inside of Kitchen.
You know, it's rare to say, but Team Empire may need to start pulling back this aggression here, as finally Secret seems to have caught on to it. They figured out the pattern, and at the moment, nothing is really working for Empire. They're trying to throw at Secret here in the early round. Karzeka probably going to be found out here over the next few seconds as well. Leon able to take him down. There you go. Great drone intel, perfect execute, an easy pickup for Leon. Now just 2 players remaining. The plant actually going to go down here in a second. Scyther and Joystick are all they have left, along with the track stingers that are also being thrown down. This is going to be very difficult, if not nigh impossible now, for the members of Empire to turn back.
So many flash grenades, but Joystick will start things off right. That's taking down Leon. He's been so influential throughout this entire tournament so far. Joystick still battling back, though, as Fockers and Farrell will find the round to put Team Secret in the lead on Coastline.
2 more rounds to go, and Secret have this map, and will take us over to a third. They're bringing it back. They seem to have found the formula. Now it's just a matter of keeping it consistent, building on this one, and keeping a read on any of the change-ups that we might have happen from Empire. Like I said, Empire, very hard-headed team. It's hard to convince them to be able to change up their own strategies, but this might be necessary now, as Secret seems to have gotten a read on it.
Well, if you thought the crowd was quiet yesterday, you definitely don't think that now, as they're definitely showing exactly how loud they can get. We've definitely enjoyed having you all here. It's been an incredible tournament so far, and hopefully we can keep adding on to that. Secret, though, trying to make this go the full distance. They want that third map. They want this victory. They might need your guys' help doing it to get past the Russian machine. So make sure you guys are showing that love for whichever team you're rooting for. That was the loudest whistle I've ever heard in my life.
I think he's happy about it. There you go, he does it again. So you can see our round breakdown there, folks. In case you were curious, every round has been playing out via kills so far throughout this matchup here. And again, Team Empire will make another change up. Going back upstairs. Managed to try this twice already, and it hasn't worked out well for them. So tripling down on this upstairs hookah and billiards site generally is the easiest site for defenders to close out. So if Empire can't even make it past this, well, the match might already be over for them, unfortunately. But we'll have to see now if they've come up with some new plan and some new adjustment in order to make a win happen here and tie them up again at 5-5.
Well, we do have joysticks back downstairs inside of offices, and Dan's on the complete polar opposite on the map. As far away as you can possibly get from your friend. He's actually sitting over inside of the pantry on kitchen. He's at the bottom of your screen, as Jeopard is actually at the bottom right, so you can kind of compare exactly where their roam presence is right now. So Joystick once again by himself. There's no one upstairs inside of Aquarium to try and help him either from the hatch.
So time's going to continue to tick down here. Again, a slower start from the folks on Team Secret. Cross angles being established here. Scyther has a watch established here by Joystick now, as they're going to try to catch intel for him. And allow Scyther to make his own aggressive plays with much more solid foundation behind it. He needs to go for that. Falkers, meanwhile, already working his way in with the rest of his team. They will be able to easily clear out the penthouse area. Empire has pulled most of their defenses back down below.
Actually, one man sitting on site. We do have someone sitting on Cool Vibes, though, from Team Empire. Obviously, the routine position of sitting on couches will be held by Shepard, which we saw Leon get that nice shot through the tissue box to remove his head the last time, as all of the aggression from Team Secret now coming through onto Aquarium.
Leon trying to make a push forward as well here, already pushing himself forward just to the edge of the site and nearly ready to plant. They'll be able to spot out a player further back. Unfortunately, the intel is not actionable at this point in time, as far as I know. Joystick trying to get outside and get aggressive here against players like Leon, but Leon seems to be ready for that. Joystick will have to be very careful if he attempts to make that push. Secret has the number right now of Empire. They've got to be, like I said, many times now, they've got to be incredibly careful if they want to continue this very aggressive game that they're so fond of.
Joystick does have some help. The legs of Scyther downstairs, but gets Jackal tracked and has to rotate his way all the way back into offices, where he feels like he's a little bit safer, but not for too long. Feral and Leon finally find some bloodshed here in round 10 as they're trying to push it to map point. Scyther rotating up main now. Now some of these track stingers have been taken care of. Feral, again, a triple kill. It's all left up to Scyther as he shows up on the graves of his friends. Has to try and fight back through this round, but it appears to be perfect so far by the offense. Scyther will take that away from them at least, as the limbs will fall off. But the plant now going down. They all know Scyther's inside of Aquarium. He's not choosing to rotate off. Feral with the pistol, and that's a quad on the round.
Secret shut it down once again, or we should say Feral shuts it all down right there. Nice play from him. Really starting to iron this one down, as they only need one final round now. And we will see Team Secret take control of map number 2 to send us to our third and final map to decide the series and our first grand finalist here at the Raleigh Major.
If this does go through, it's always extremely funny when they take each other's maps.
Always ends up working out that way.
Always does, doesn't it?
Really epic matchups always end up going down that way.
It really does. Secret, though, looking almost unmatched on Coastline. Incredible stuff coming out on roam isolation, especially picking up those early kills. A great utility use there from Feral. It only takes 2 seconds for one of those air jabs to activate, and once it's activated, it'll immediately pop off. So, as we talked about earlier, it's making it a lot easier to claim those kills. Feral, a little bit of a missed shot with the 44 mag, but it's okay. That scope, a lot of people's favorites in the entire game. You can actually get that on multiple weapons. You can get it on that pistol, which it's always on there. You can get it on the M249. of Capital, as well as the M249 Saw of Gridlock. She's the one who brought it into the game, and, well, actually, she's the one who brought it to the LMGs, mind you. But we did always see it on those pistols of the two operators that came from Wind Bastion.
A lot of people like him trending towards his operators, even just for that scope under some circumstances, too.
Amazing, amazing scope. I wish it was on every gun. I would literally use it on every single weapon that I could get my hands on.
A lot of people do. Well, here we go, guys. A bit of an interesting turn of events, as it did look like Secret were really going to struggle to work their way back into this second map, but they've taken it in stride on their attacking side and are now just one single round away from being able to close this out and send us over to a third map to decide the series. Into the round we go. Secret are spawned out and onto the board. Joystick looking to get aggressive again this time, though. Empire just never learning. Always trying to get in the faces of these players, and it may end up costing them the map this time.
Well, when you do the same thing over and over again and expect the same results, they call it insane. But Empire always finds a way with 2 kills right off rip, trying to push this to OT. Farrell, no ammo in the ARX. His primary assault rifle does still have the pistol. He doesn't have any ammo. He actually only has air jabs, as he will switch over to make sure that Karzeka cannot rotate outside. Dan's actually going to impact it as well, just so they can apply pressure if they want to.
Really trying to choke these guys down now if they can help with that at all. Because now finally they've been given the advantage that they've been looking for this entire half, but have really struggled to get here. Funkers, though, is able to isolate out Dan. There's the first trade. Bad sign for the rest of Empire here if they continue to lose players. You can see Karzeka falling back a little bit here from the office. Start to put him out of position. There's the Legion ping. They know he's going to be in this area, but now he doubles down on the aggression, moves forward, is going to be able to hit a player with a goo mine. Funkers, though, takes out Karzeka, prevents him from retreating, brings us into a 3v3. Now, one of them did get downed as well, as we've got Leon on the ground, but should be able to bring him up. No, never know. Hold on there. Shepard takes a second shot. Thankfully, the floor is soft, so we can still finish off Leon. And also, Farrell, incredibly low here with only about 25 HP left. Secret now need to be very, very careful if they're still looking to end the map here.
Team Empire, instead of trying to waver off and not get aggressive, they fight fire with fire, and it's actually working now. We saw it quite a few times, but Team Empire apparently all of a sudden finding their footing. Team Secret have to try and battle back now, though, as they have most of the anchors up that you would absolutely want. You have Smoke, you have Echo. It's going to be very difficult between them, especially with how long Karzeka was able to stay alive. Quite a few goo mines down on the ground now that they're going to have to worry about. Funker's going to continue to take damage until he can finally rip that out. Joystick's going to be down, though. They're not going to have that information, as once again, you do not have that score on the HUD. They're going to have to gain some more information on Joystick, but Funkers going to use the breaching round, knew he was down, must have seen him fall, and all of a sudden we have a 2v2. Team Secret finding a will and a way through this. Toxic Babes now for Smoke, and lock down the VIP hallway. Is going to see him rotate towards 90 though, so they're definitely gonna have the information that it appears to be an aquarium take, and that's exactly what it's going to be. Farrell now stun dumping the room to try and get anything in on Shepard. Scyther with a quick shot, no, not going to make any contact. And the Yokai drones with the echo shots do come through. Shepard will lock down Funkers. It's all up to Farrell left. He does have that low mag capacity ARX, so there's gonna need a lot of magic, a lot of finesse on this one, but it's a quick shotgun shot from Shepard to bring this one round closer to overtime.
Empire came very, very close, but still managed to close it out at the end of the day, as finally their aggressive moves in the early round, which have been punished for the last 3-4 rounds in a row now by Team Secret, works out well for them. Dan, along with Joystick, able to strike.
It wasn't even really that. Like, they had the aggressive plays that they had before, but this time they just pushed it up to 11. They were already at 10. They were already pressuring all of the rooms that they wanted every single time. That's something that you will always see from Team Empire. They do the same thing over and over again. But somehow they find a way with those minor adjustments to make things work.
And so into our next round, we'll head into in just a moment here. Penultimate round of this map now. If we end up going to overtime, especially as it enters the 12th round. So for Empire, they have to win here in order to guarantee overtime. They can no longer win it, however, in regulation. We have to go to the final 3 rounds to do that.
You know, Blue, I really feel like we should ask the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, do you guys want this map 3? I'm sorry, guys, hold on, whoa. I couldn't hear you, ladies and gents. Do you want this map 3? That's what I'm talking about.
All right, well, you heard him, folks. We need to see a closeout here now from Team Secret, otherwise overtime is going to be in the cards. The last attacking round here for Secret in regulation. Let's see if they can bring it.
We have the best fans in the entire world, man. You guys are incredible. Team Secret still trying to fight out of these woods, though, as we do still have some rainbow to commentate, Blue. We are now back into the round. This round has passed prep phase as Joystick still definitely prepping things. He's punching holes inside of the hookah wall to watch in towards billiards.
Drone work still being done by Team Secret at this point, so we're going to see positions established as you'll have players like Leon tucking his drone away there on the inside of Aqua to give them free reign over that and make sure no one from Empire can sneak up on these guys. Leon does attract his attention over there towards the office after a little bit of delay, and he'll get some droning assistance going to the inside of there. Should have been able to see that drone get killed. He's got a pretty good idea. He's got a player leading down in security hallway. We see the peak as well, but no, Scyther goes way too aggro. That's their Echo going down this early in the round due to an aggressive peak. And as a result of that, the Yokai drone's now dead.
We thought that Leon didn't have that, but a quick adjustment through the actual bookshelf takes down Scyther. Karzeka to follow suit. Team Empire look like they're taking this, but Joystick's got something to say as he takes down Leon from the double window inside of billiards.
The folks on Secret, a little bit of slowdown for them, of course, as they still end up losing Leon there, so they now need to be careful about how they proceed. It was another player that starts to get dangerous for them. So overtime is definitely not something they want to have to play out here, especially if they end up having to go all the way into a map 3. Some soft breach, allowing them to move further in. We're also going to hear some track stingers going off in the distance there too. As maybe throws this in, allows for better control here on the attackers as they continue to push further into the map.
Only one true anchor on the side of Team Empire left in the likes of Shepard with those toxic babes, and has plenty of time to delay as well. Still had all three of them, but not in the safest spot. Fonkers takes down Joystick, who was upstairs inside of Hookah, but immediately gets removed. Dan on a hard rotate through offices, needs some assistance as Shepard. He's gonna take quite a bit of damage. Fonkers finds Dan. It's all left up to Shepard inside of sight, and we're going to map 3, folks. Team Secret finds Empire's map.
And with that, Team Secret, a beautiful recovery, a great read on the attacking side to knock out Team Empire and take them down on their own map pick, sending us to our third and final map to decide the series. The CL Team Secret is not out of this tournament yet, as they continue to impress on land and improve their own legacy here, looking to knock out the Russian machine. That's enough from us for now, though. It's going to go back over to Milos and the rest of the desk to break things down and just how they brought it back.
Thank you so much, John. Gentlemen, hell of a game here. We did not expect Secret to come back swinging.
I did.
A great... All right.
I did. I said it, 2-1, baby. Team Secret, and they came out swinging that time. Secret on attack right there, Milos.
Yeah.
Nobody was stopping it, man.
No, there was not. They completely switched around once they got to the attacking side. Now, Alex, a lot of people look at Coastline and are like, the closer the two teams are, the more defender-sided it is.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that every map, if both teams were 100% even, it would always be defender-sided because time's on their side. I mean, with this, it comes down to Fonkers and Leon just going ham. Feral as well and Nomad, he made such a massive difference.
That was definitely their game. They showed up. But what was going on with Empire on their side, Valley?
Empire, their side, it was basically containment and pressure coming from Team Secret. Empire, they had no room to breathe. And it was just absolute bullying over there in the office over in the terrace area. One thing that Team Secret did so good to Empire, they allowed them not be able to breathe around the map. Secret was able to push them on a bomb site. For instance, when we went to service, the Jackal and Nomad working together, able to push the Roamer in, it was security over in the site, and then they were able to get the easy kill. But then also, you gotta just take a look at just the clutch. The clutch is Feral as Nomad, able to take out Joystick.
Oh my.
That was phenomenal. The track stingers, the way they use their operators together in order to win the round was beautiful, rather than just an individual operator using his own ability to win the round.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
We talked about the gridlock and how crazy the big woman, as you say, the big scary woman is. And Alex, I think it really proved to have a pretty huge effect on a map like Coast.
Yeah, they were amazing at locking down, well, not locking down, but limiting Joystick's movement a lot. So when he doesn't have the freedom, he's not that scary. If you know he's sitting in a corner by himself, you know, you can leave him there for a while. But the whole thing, I don't think we can say that Empire did massive mistakes or anything. Credit where credit is due. Secret played that round or that map extremely well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you're expecting at the semifinals between at this point, two of the best teams that we have in the world. Though, let's talk about our next map, our third one in the series. Stokes hyped up the entire
That was beautiful,
room.
by the way.
Honestly, Sam, wonderful. This kid's growing up. He is growing up. It's gone pretty back. All right, let's talk about Border. That's map 3. What do we expect in this? Because Secret showed that they can contain Joystick.
Yes. So, but also what I wanted to point out as well from round 11, Joystick got a little bit loose. You saw the run outs on the balcony, and he was able to pick up 1 of 2 kills within the first 30 seconds of the round. I want to see that type of play from Team Empire if their backs are against the wall. I'm not saying don't be aggressive off bat with the run outs and trying to force fights in your favor. No, set the pace. But if things get a little bit crazy against Team Secret, if they're starting to contain you even more, make sure you go out there and you make the plays to break that up. Because when Team Empire did that in round 11, they were unstoppable. I want to see more of it.
And you could argue that this is probably the one map where Empire is going to look the weakest on. They've banned this, the second most banned map they have, and I mean you can hold a hallway to get some sort of outside presence to limit roams. You can have the rooftop. We've seen some innovative ways of getting some crazy angles down main stairs from the dome on the roof. But a lot of it still has to be inside, and that's where Empire is gonna struggle a little.
What do they need to change in this? Because there's always reliance from Empire on Joystick. Are they really mortal in this Border game?
I don't think they want to or have any interest in changing anything. If they played their game, they bring, the actual teamwork we're seeing from them, then they got a great chance at winning it, and then it's up to Secret to put a stick in that wheel.
Yeah, and that game right there, the last 2 maps, it wasn't a game about gun skill. It was more about operator use and strategy. Empire needs to go back to their roots, man, because they've been struggling recently.
Do you think the attacking side is going to have a huge effect as it did on Coastline, Alex?
For Empire, yes.
Yeah.
Because it's what they do. They're so good at choking people, limiting their movement. They catch, let's say half of their kills is catching people going in transit from one room to another, right?
And Secret wasn't really allowing them to have any sort of movement.
Secret has the best roaming on offense and defense, man. They contain them when they're on the attack, and then on defense they own it, spread it out wide, dominate it. Yeah. So yeah.
It's spread the butter technique.
Right. So Border is actually scary because the roaming play on Border, like for instance, when we talk about CCTV and also Workshop, if Secret's able to play the same way, what's Empire really gonna do, man?
Yeah, you can just unlock players in CCTV with the Zofia and then move on from there. It's a strategy that always gets employed and works very well, right?
But also, is Jackal going to be in play as well? Because that's going to make a difference over an Armory.
Okay, well, Operator ban, since you're mentioning Jackal, what are you guys expecting? Alex?
Nomad just for the vent window.
Fair enough.
Jump outs become too difficult otherwise.
You have to ban Nomad. Gridlock, she was amazing last map. I don't think she's going to get banned here. You're going to have to get rid of, I would say, Jackal definitely. Get rid of Echo, obviously. Capita, I think it's going to be default bans this time around. Nothing too flat.
Capita Mira from Empire.
Mira, yeah.
I'd be expecting that from Empire. Nomad as well, as you're saying.
You have to get rid of
Nomad. That really depends on if Leon wants to rock the Nomad, and then they'll take a little bit of yeeting out of the windows themselves.
But also, so with Nomad being banned, how much utility did they really waste? You saw over in Office how Visual had to rotate all around the map to use impact nades. Those impact nades could have been used for kills or something else, man. So, yeah, you have to take her off the board.
It's very scary to look at it this way because we never thought that Empire would have such a difficult way to get to the finals. I mean, they're not there, obviously. They might not make it. Yes, I know, Veli, that smile.
No, I'm not saying because of that.
Showing.
No, they have a target on their back, man. Everyone's gunning for them. Right now, they're the best team in Siege, I would say. So everyone's bringing that fight.
We got to remember, we've seen plenty of teams put a dent in Empire, but they still tend to win, even in these situations. So
that was the way for G2 for their beginning of their rise to power. EG could put a dent in them and then never actually beat them. It was a similar thing for Rogue, similar for even Black Dragons back if we look at the olden days, the team that became NIP and FaZe even now, what they were before as Font. Every single team on the rise of G2, they got close, but they couldn't beat them.
And we have
the same.
Both teams winning each other's map picks, which is the Siege curse, right?
Yeah.
It's you pick your map, then I beat you on it, and then you beat me on my map, and
Anything special on Border, though? We talked about CCTV from your side, Veli,
Yes.
but can we dig into a bit of Teller's Bathroom? Because that site has been played quite a bit in Europe, and I wouldn't be surprised if either one of these two teams played it.
Well, first of all, when it comes to Teller's Bathroom, I still feel like verticality is the name of the game, especially on Border. So when you have Feral and Fonker still doing their thing, I feel like their dominance on the second floor, covering hatches, make sure soft destruction is protected, is going to be key. It's how much time, not about if they can get the kills, how much time can they really burn away from Empire? Because way too often we see Empire running out of time when it gets into these sites. How many situations do we see, especially downstairs in CCTV on Bank, did we see Sight there in the 1v1 trying to win a fight with 3 seconds left and so forth? You got to take that from them.
Do you think there was a bit of a lack of droning on Empire's side in map 2 when they're attacking?
No, I don't think they ever lag intel. I think that's the one thing they don't mess up on. Losing gunfights, however, I don't think they were as sharp as we normally see them. And on Border, it's going to come down to waiting room and
Veli,
yeah.
You said 2-1. You're going to stick to that, I assume, for Secret.
One of our predictions have to be right this event.
At some point in time.
I got to update mine, right? It can't be 2-0. So
No.
2-1.
2-1?
Empire.
Okay, there you go. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We'll be back after this final map. We went the distance, ladies and gentlemen, and that's only one of our 2 semifinals. Empire versus Team Secret continues. On to you, Stokes and Blue.
Thank you, Gassan. Thank you, Zoronic. Thank you, Veli. We're on the 3rd map, folks. It's Border. It's Team Secret. It's Team Empire. Let's get some noise going, folks. It's our first map 3 of the day. Exciting inside of the arena right now.
It's going to be a boatload of fun. I don't know if anyone expected Team Secret to bounce back in the way that they did over on Coastline, and now they've got a great chance to do it. Oh no, we've got the Thermite ban coming in. This brings back memories from another Secret
Yes,
game.
it does.
Empire have the choice though, so let's see. Okay, they're not going to go and take out the Habana and go absolutely crazy and just throw this game into the dishwasher, but we are going to see Capital get banned out there.
I really hope that we're not placing these PCs inside of dishwashers. I really hope that doesn't happen. But
Probably not. I think I meant to say garbage disposal. I don't know why with the dishwasher, to be honest with you.
It's absolutely fine. Mirror, though, going to be removed, and last operator will be removed from the likes of Team Secret. It's going to be Echo. So, just to bring some remnants back, if anyone has ever watched the Team Secret final, actually, no, it was actually up against Ninjas in Pajamas, I do think, at the minor, where both of the hard destructors were banned out. It was Habana as well as Thermite that were banned out, and Team Secret's offensive plan was to take Maverick as well as Monty, excuse me, it always defaults to Maestro, excuse me for a second. Monty, and then pressure the armory wall. They would create a line across to watch for half wall, and then just have Monty hold the door, apply pressure to half wall, rinse, repeat, get the plant down. That's exactly what they did over and over and over again. So we'll have to see on their offensive side what they're able to create with Thermite off the board. But as for now, Team Secret will be starting on defense. And you're more than likely going to see either a lot of bandit tricking or a lot of Kaed play due to the fact that Habanas have a longer fuse time as opposed to Thermite's exothermic charges.
All right, guys, well, let's get into it here. Let's see if Secret can find success starting out on their defense and build upon that in order to close out this map, or if the Russian machine is going to prove to be, once again, just too unstoppable to deal with here. Some players like Joystick are going to be able to go aggressive here at the start of this round as he brings the Nomad into play. We did not see that get banned out, so that means that if Team Secret want to get more aggressive, trying to is going to prove much more difficult here.
What we've talked about for, well, most of this entire matchup about how these early kills have been so important for these two teams. It really does tend to be whoever gets those big opening frags is the team that's walking away with the round. And especially on Border, it's practically the same. CCTV is extremely important here as you can chop up the entire upstairs just from that one angle. It's definitely the power position upstairs over beside, behind half wall, once again, as well as inside of break room where you're able to isolate all of 90 hallway, making rotations extremely hard inside of sight. None of the roamers can come up from east or main stairs. They have to try and play things from downstairs. So that's why you see a lot of teams setting up inside of CCTV now, whereas opposed to well, quite a while ago, where we saw more turtle setups inside of sight as opposed to playing over into CCTV.
Empire doing a lot more analysis this time, it seems, spending a lot of time in the droning phase here, in their drones, I guess you could say at this point, and trying to figure out how exactly the setup is being split up here from Team Secret. It's on our initial site, which is almost always the same site every single time it's played, so not too much necessarily to read into here. Dan does get run out on by a member of Team Secret there. Fonkers gonna try to find that early pick, but instead he gets a little bit of a bullet spray to his chest. That'll bring him down to about 50 HP. He returned about 25.
Team Empire is still prioritizing CCTV control, as we did just talk about how important that is. Joystick going to be playing the Nomad on the upside down rappel. They have to be very wary of these windows. There's so many angles you can possibly find through. Jaeger might be found out right now. They have a shield actually up on top of Horseshoe. Very creative by Team Secret. Joystick rotating back downstairs now though. Make sure that they can possibly get some pressure. Dan's just going to throw himself to the wind. Tries to challenge but gets taken down from a separate angle. It's going to be Fonkers. This is actually going to be a trade between the two teams.
So with the trade occurring, we're going to see Karzeka pick up the next blow here for Team Empires. It's going to bring Team Secret down to just 3 players left standing. Alems, Funkers, and Meepy are all that stands left on that site. Team Empire, though, still with a minute left, so they're not going to over-push just yet. Going to keep it nice and composed. Site, they're still looking for players downstairs in case there is any roaming presence still for Secret, but that there is not. Everyone, for the most part, going to be aligned with the sites with maybe 1 or 2 players out in the open looking to catch these guys.
Team Empire still working down the checklist, and you're going to be seeing it time and time again because, again, they do the same thing over and over until it works. Drone play now coming in for Empire, recognizing out that Maestro Limbs is sitting behind the half wall. Air jab, though, as Joystick picks up 2! Meepy and Fonkers fall! It's all up to Limbs, and Joystick gets him 2! He crosses Sandwich! Joystick with a shake and a move, able to isolate out this first round for Team Empire.
As well, the third player just running right across his point of view to give that kill over. Nice stuff from Joystick. Hasn't had the most loud game here so far. We haven't seen him show up in every single round as we have in some of these past tournaments, but that's a way to start a round, and that's a way to start off a map for your team, as that's going to easily put the first round under their control.
Oh, we got the chance coming out now. We're starting early. This crowd here, man, has been truly insane, and Team Secret definitely going to need the help. This defense, once again, of Team Secrets has to be aggressive and get these early picks. Otherwise, Empire is just going to be able to pick them apart just like this. Again, that CCTV room control, so very important, and Empire finally bursting through in order to claim that room was extremely important to break down those rotations that Team Secret need to be able to move from Archives into Armory, as well as rotations up east, where we saw Fonkers playing early on. Appears that Team Secret is going to be going for relatively the same plan. We're more than likely going to be seeing that shield up on the desk of Horseshoe, once again, which is where the monitors are, inside of CCTV, as well as Fonkers playing over on East. He might try and rotate his way back to site a little bit closer this time around. He's not playing Bandit either. We're actually going to have him on Valkyrie.
So we will have the members of the attack here on Empire spawning in just a moment. Overall, a good opening hold, though, from Team Secret. They're looking strong. Try and build up on this, unfortunately fell to the straight up aggression from Joystick there and the raw aim power that we've seen from him in past rounds here. Now it's time for the folks on Team Secret to build upon maybe the smaller amount of mistakes they made in the previous round and try to catch a trade at 1-1. Still the same site, of course. We're still upstairs. We're still playing into that Armory Archive, so you'll expect the round in general to play out somewhat similarly.
The main issue right now for Team Secret is showing Team Empire the same look is extremely punishing because they've already found a way to break through your defense and they're just going to pick up the pace. So we're not going to have Fonkers over on East as we saw last time, since he is playing the Valkyrie. He's going to be playing a little bit farther back inside of offices, but it still will be Leon as well as Farrell trying to hold down CCTV. And again, this is going to be the main priority for Team Empire, but actually, they might be going the opposite way. Is Dan just going to rush in? We've seen this from him before. He breaks open the door. Immediately, they already have pressure on Sandwich. Karzeka's got pressure, but he's going to get immediately put through the grinder by Alems. And it's actually going to be a little bit of a different take here from Team Empire. Definitely not matching the same results.
So Dan goes down, a little bit bold from him. And now Empire have to make up for this again. This is the problem with this hyper-aggressive strategy that Empire always thrives in, is it? Fortunately, if it goes badly, they're just going to end up losing players with not much else to show for it here. And this is one of those situations with Dan going down. Literally nothing else redeemable comes out of that besides maybe a little bit of intel, which is already past the point where it would be actionable. So even then, it's not really a gain for these guys.
Well, for Team Empire now, it's a very peculiar thing to not see them immediately go for that CCTV room control that they got last time. This time instead trying to go immediately to site, and he gets punished by Team Secret. Recognizing out that aggression, but stun grenades coming in now as they're going to try and get this diffuser down to make it a little bit easier. Do still have some presence from CCTV as he's going to get taken down. It's all left up to Karzeka, but Farrell wins it out anyways! An incredible shot by Farrell to equalize.
And Secret bring it back immediately to tie us up at 1-1. The aggression from Farrell there goes unnoticed. Well, I say it goes unnoticed. The thing is, Empire absolutely knew he was back there inside his CCTV, but didn't seem to care. Tried to ignore the issue, and he picks up that double to just end the round outright. Empire falter, and now we sit at 1-1, and the crowd will continue to amp itself up.
Best fans in the world, man. I just got to say it one more time. But again, in case you guys were wondering, this is actually young Fonker's first major ever on Team Secret. If you guys could please give this man a round of applause for how well he's been doing so far, because he's been absolutely killing it on the side of Team Secret, and he's definitely been showing off very well so far throughout his first major LAN. Although Farrell, definitely a massive exclamation point for Team Secret. We saw him do so well at the Vegas Minor Blue. He was one of the most important players at that entire LAN, and he's just still able to find gold every single time he's on the field.
Such a huge kill pinch right there they had against Empire as well that they basically just ignored, or for lack of better explanation, were just unable to get rid of, especially when it came to Farrell's position on the inside of CCTV.
I'm just gonna say it one more time, and I promise, chat, I promise I'll leave it alone. CCTV is so important on this map, especially for that top pressure. You have to take it away. They didn't, and see what happens when you miss a check on the list.
You fall to pieces very, very quickly, and Empire's certainly not going to be happy about that. They've been taking dominant control of a lot of the earlier portions of these maps back on both Bank along with Coastline before. Now it's no longer the case. We've got Secret trading evenly with them from the get-go. This is a lot of pressure from Empire. I don't know if they're going to be able to deal with it.
It's indeed a little bit of a different setup here for Team Secret, obviously downstairs now, but they're not going to be going to the usual secondary site. They're actually inside of Customs right now, so this might throw Empire for a loop just a little bit, but more than likely already have knowledge of exactly where the site is. Team Secret, though, on quite a long stretch here. Karzeka, again, with this holographic sight on such these long angles. Really incredible if he's able to find stuff with this. We do have a statistic that will pop up. This has been one of the most explosive matches of the tournament, with 18 out of 25 rounds featuring a 3K or better. So there you guys go. Incredible matchup to start off the day, especially after that Caster Show match where I did absolutely terrible. Joystick, though, doing a whole hell of a lot better than I could probably ever do. They are prioritizing getting office control. Oh, a frag into half wall, but it's not going to claim any lives, as I actually believe Limbs is up on the lockers. Seen this angle in quite a while. No, he's actually tucked into the corner, so very lucky that he didn't take any damage from that.
Yeah, incredibly lucky, in fact. So he's going to be counting his stars that he doesn't manage to even take a sliver of damage from that somehow. And we'll still be able to utilize that position. Even worse, Empire may think it's clear now in order to push back in. So that could be a huge problem for Empire if they didn't check it otherwise with another drone just to confirm that he's there.
Empire's definitely taking their time. They now know that Maestro's there, so Joystick's got that long angle. If Limbs picks wrong, he's surely dead. Karzeka's trying to force him to move now, as he still sticks into that corner. Might be picking up a frag grenade once again. Challenges long, recognizes out that Joystick is there. He has to win this fight, but he's got assistance from Legion rotating in. Shepard will fall, but it's going to be immediate trade as soon as Limbs as well as Fonkers, but Leon's there to assist as all of a sudden we're equaled in man count. Scyther now rotates upstairs. A quick shot from Leon to put Scyther in the dirt, and they're trying to find a will and a way to get through this. Karzeka trying to equalize, and Leon through the concussion with the triple. You never see that, but he finds a way. Karzeka, all of a sudden, the last man alive for Empire as Team Secret's trying to take the lead. Meepy is literally on top of a locker. I don't even think he knows how he got here.
Just hanging out, man.
Just hanging out. What's good for him?
New angles.
Karzeka's not going to be able to find him either. A fantastic position by Meepy, though. Has holes made up top to be able to Toxic Babe anything, including the drop that they need. Leon's rotated over to the other door to cover all of their bases. Frag grenade now coming in through from Karzeka. Not going to deal any damage to Meepy. They're going to know that he dropped now. Meepy with a quick shot. You never look there. We're going sneaky beaky like, as the kids say.
Works out perfectly, too. Even after the nade takes him down, Meepy, just as we can see on the replay, there rips him to shreds. Well, unfortunately, you guys didn't have it, but as we saw on the replay, Meepy rips it to shreds right there, finishes off the round for Secret and puts them into the lead at 2-1 now over Team Empire. The paradigm is starting to shift, and it's looking more and more likely for Team Secret to come out of this one alive.
We have a lonely Canadian in the crowd as well, so everyone tuned into this, making sure that their favorite team wins. Again, guys, if you don't think that you have a presence in this match, you are surely wrong. Crowd presence, massive thing at LANs, and it's what a lot of players either thrive in or they fall off in. And both of these teams right now definitely finding a way. Oh, a very creative spot by Farrell as well. That was patched out of border, but it's still there. That shot by Leon was truly good.
Just to touch on Leon for a second as well. Really impressive play so far. We didn't see much of this back in the first map, but ever since we got on the coastline, Leon's been doing an absolutely fantastic job of winning duels that he should not be winning. And I know that that's a bit of an interesting thing to say, but it's certainly true. He's won 3 to 4 duels now where it looked from the outside in that he was just dead to rights going to go down to a member of Empire, but he continues to turn it around, even turning some of those situations into multi-frags as well. Leon is really lighting it up right now for Secret and is definitely a big proponent of this comeback for them.
Well, especially now with those concussions not acting like they used to. When you used to get concussed, it would actually slow your ADS, or excuse me, your sensitivity overall. So now it's just a visual effect and your cam more or less leans back and forth. It's a very weird effect, but Leon being able to battle through that, especially having full control of his sensitivity now since that patch, makes things a little bit easier, but still an incredible kill nevertheless. Team Empire, though, a very slow attack the last time around, so they're going to have to try and speed things up. Team Secret, more or less playing in the exact same areas. That's a massive pick with how much presence Leon has had in the game.
Dan finding a very early pick here now puts guys on Team Empire into an advantageous position. It knocks out the mute, though, so just a roamer, not necessarily a huge loss, as more than likely all 4 of his jammers would have already gone down. And that's, again, Leon actually looking like he was getting a tad aggressive there, too, so starting to come into his own with that, but will pay the price for peeking against Dan, who was very much ready to take a duel from that exact angle.
Team Secret slowing things down quite a bit. You don't see as many aggressive peaks as Empire. Again, just taking their time. It's surgical. And they're finally finding their way to bring this back to a tie. And I really feel like we're starting up the teeter-totter here, Blue. Shepard now rotating in for CCTV so they can try and have full control of this upstairs area. It's Farrell still inside trying to fight back, though. As I do actually believe, no, it'll be a Limbs, but Farrell's still inside. They misplaced him. And 2 quick shots! Farrell attempting to equalize. He's 1 off, but he has diffuser upstairs. Does he know? Maybe only 1 downstairs, but they need that diffuser to try and get the plant down. That's going to be Empire trying to find their way back. Farrell's already vacated the area as well. You see all of Team Empire rotating upstairs.
He's going to fall back and away from that one, considering, I think, stimming himself back up one more time here as well. And there you go, yeah. Just juices himself back up to 100 HP one final time, as he probably realizes he's not going to get a great opportunity to use that on Meepy later on in the round as well, since Meepy's still pretty well detached from him. Scyther on the hunt now, and he may actually be able to catch Farrell here relatively soon. A little bit of spam going in through the soft walls. They're off the mark. Nothing will be caught by Scyther under these conditions. 50 seconds left. Farrell does catch a drone pushing towards it, but that's still his position revealed, and Karzeka going to be able to isolate that out. Everything on Meepy on the smoke now, with 2 charges remaining to try and delay the attack. He shifts into the ventilation room instead. However, window gonna get popped open. Trying to get aggressive, but no, it does not work out. Joystick takes him down, and Empire strike back. We are even at 2-2. Neither team with an advantage.
All this man had to hear was a shift of barbed wire, and he immediately pre-fires the cross angle because he knows what the man's gonna do. He's inside their head. Joystick, always an incredible player, especially on LAN. So very impressive. All of a sudden, we're back tied up here. Something's got to give, though. Other than that, we might be going to OT. And please remember, folks, this is not infinite overtime. That is only in the final matchup. Hello, Skies. How are you doing, my friend? Glad you're here. Glad you all are here. Beautiful faces inside of the crowd. But, guys, we still got a game to finish up. Let me tell you, a long ways. Oh.
Careful with those.
Oh. Yeah, don't break your neck. Those
are dangerous.
A very dangerous thing, as we are finding out as well in the game, which has 5 people on each side with guns trying to shoot each other. Very dangerous game. The Dangerous Game. Good movie as well. But besides that, Secret.
It's a book, wasn't it?
I believe it's a movie as well now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get up to date, Blue. Gosh.
I mean, that book's like a couple hundred years old, so... I'm surprised they didn't make one already.
Well, jumping into round 5 now, though. Secret, still more or less the same game plan. They are back upstairs, so you're going to see them hold down CCTV room, but we do have a little bit of adjustment from the offensive lineup, which again, all you're going to see Team Empire do is relatively the same thing with minor adjustments, and that's going to be the line coming in from Scyther.
So let's take a look here. Let's see how Empire take their stance again. Well, I can tell you one thing, it's probably going to be the same thing. Waited out aggression or to get them toward the center. They've been taking a much more methodical approach to things, I've realized, here on their attack throughout this series. They haven't really been too shy on kind of slowing things down if they need to, and as we saw even through map number 1 here, running down the timer all the way to that 10 to 15 second mark if it becomes necessary in order to push themselves forward.
Again, we see Joystick prioritizing the north side of this map. He's done such a good job on playing on Sandwich, which is a power position for Nomad. Helps out quite a bit. This air jab launcher is also helping out, but he's not going to allocate one to AC, so I think something else in the cards for Team Empire's attack on this time. We do have a black eye cam upstairs as well as over in the parking lot area next to the streets. In order to look towards that Sandwich window where they're on the north side. They are prioritizing CCTV room. We told you how important that is. Trying to break that shield, but every ADS under the sun is currently inside of here. Finally getting that shield broken. They're actually making quick work of this as well. Everyone inside of CCTV hits the deck, but we do still have Valkyrie over in the corner on half wall, or at least near the bookshelf, trying to battle back on the door. Door now will be ripped open on the south side as Empire's trying to get a little bit more pressure. Actually, are going to have a rotate that's actually going to be Fonkers playing over inside of offices. That silhouette just a little bit off, but Farrell actually does fall, and that's going to be a quick 2-piece of limb spalls on half wall, and they have all the map pressure in the world. Air jabs down. Empire looking to take the lead once again after finding the very first round, but then it quickly got whisked away from Team Secret. A quick knockdown, those air jabs so powerful. Meekby, a quick death, and Fonkers will fall. Team Empire with a flawless round.
Well, Dan couldn't get it done on round number 1, but Joystick certainly does it here on round number 5. A straight up run-in past the wall into the site, absolutely destroys the setup from Team Secret and puts Team Empire back in the lead now at 3-2 as we enter the final round of the first half. Another 4-2 or even another 3-3 is looking likely as we're about to repeat one of the score lines from maps 1 and 2.
You just love to see the ability of Team Empire to just shove all of these emotions, this tension, to literally the deepest depths of their soul. Like, you never see any of it, even on a round that goes as well as that. It's just a very quick fist bump. They don't even look at each other. They have to win the match in order for this to mean anything, so they don't care about the in-between.
Someone say, let's go EG?
It might be.
I think I heard a let's go EG in there as well.
Well, hello, friendos.
But yeah, still quite a few chances. And yeah, there's the trophy as well.
The trophy is beautiful. I'm not even going to lie to you right now. That is the most beautiful trophy that we have ever had.
It's very, very cool.
Obviously, you can't beat the hammer. I mean, everybody wants a hammer. That thing is badass. But
G2 wants it so bad that it's got it plastered on the back of their jersey.
Kanto has it tattooed on his right hand.
Does he?
Don't ask me why I know that.
Huh. Well, I mean, right hand. I mean, that's your business.
Okay. All right. All right.
So moving into the next round here, it is once again going to be a Archives and Armory defense, since the option is still available to Team Secret to play onto that at this point. But they don't want to fail here once again. They want to tie this back up at 3-3 and be able to go the distance in the second half with a little bit more assurance that they can do that in their pocket. A 2-4, obviously going to be a little bit more difficult to work themselves back from, but as evidenced by the last map, they've already done it once. It's definitely not going to be an issue to do it once again.
Well, as we have the stats up on the screen now, you can see that Scyther really hasn't been awake this entire time, but he's been helping out, obviously, with that utility as well as that droning that he's been able to accomplish so far. Again, just because someone has 0 kills doesn't mean that they haven't done anything. Scyther is on one of the most important operators that Team Empire has at their disposal. As I say that, EE1D will go off from the likes of Scyther. Doesn't seem like the priority is going to be CCTV this time around. Instead, going for customs, working their way across that mid floor.
So So Empire putting themselves in a position over by the west wall now. They'll start to drone it first, however, still 2 minutes remaining on the clock here in order to do it. Joystick will wrap around. That'll detect Meepy over by the half wall. That's your normal play. You kind of expect someone to be there at this point, but Meepy's actually going to make a readjustment. It looks like he's going to push closer up to the wall itself and potentially try to play into a different position. We still have CCTV control under the ownership of Team Secret right now as well. So Empire need to once again focus on clearing that out or risk being culled in the way they were in earlier rounds when they attempted to push in a one-dimensional fashion without first having taken care of the position of the players hiding out inside of CCTV.
Well, very smart rotation by Meepy over from half wall, because immediately after that, Joystick rotates underneath and tries to find him with some spray. But definitely not going to come up with much. 1 E, 1 D remaining after the one that was just used. Still seems like the main focus is going to be CCTV. Quick shots to the wall, but Dan's not going to make any contact. Does see the long angle that leads over inside of offices. That's been established by a lot of teams in the past. Quick shots, though, as he's trying on the tailcoats of Limbs, but doesn't down him. He does quite a bit of damage. Leon, though, will actually be downed, and he hasn't been claimed just yet. I don't know if Dan knows that he's down. He could possibly hear the shuffling, but Scyther, in the process of all of that, has been killed. So that last E1D is going to be meaningless. Quick shots, though, from Shepard as he actually hasn't downed Feral. Feral's still alive. He knows he's behind Horseshoe as well. Dan from Break Room might look away at the wrong time, but no, it's going to be Feral trying to play out his life. Alems is still in behind half wall as well. Quickly peeks the hallway. Leon goes down. All of a sudden, this is a very close contention.
30 seconds left for it, though, so Empire still at the disadvantage here. Shepard going to try to make that same run in on his own. A little bit slower to it, though. Karzeka will strike somewhere else on the map, being able to take out Meepy. Dan finds his own second now as he's able to knock out Alems. You're down to Falkers way below, but he's got a lot of destruction done. He can see right up on top there. He finds a pick. Feral's also going to be able to get one, and just like that, we are even. Diffuser has gone down onto the ground, however, so now the pressure shifts over to Secret as they need to retake this, and they don't have a lot of time to do it.
Karzeka shifting underneath with that skeleton key to be able to establish a line of sight onto the diffuser. They do have a really good retake here as they have all of the map presence they can possibly need, but they recognize out that someone's down low. Feral actually going to trade out Falkers. It's all of a sudden a 1v1. He knows Shepard is more than likely on rappel. He's going to challenge, but he's got to worry about these air jabs. I don't know if there's one upstairs. Quick nitro cells. He thinks he's sitting low, but he's actually sitting high. He hears him rappel back, and he's just going to wait. Shepard from all the way on the roof takes round 6 for Team Empire.
Safe, stable play from Shepard, exactly what Empire needed here, and that will close out their attacking half with an advantage still under their control here. Fortunately, Team Secret not able to forge it back so much just yet, and with that, Empire sits again only 3 rounds away from closing out this series.
This is where things get interesting, Blue. We've seen Team Secret play this map before with a hard breacher down, and at the time 2 hard breachers down. A lot of utility dedicated towards armory lockers and likes of Monty, as well as a handful of others by his side. Right now it doesn't seem like they're going to be going with that big aggressive lineup, but they do have the hard destruction they need and Nomad in order to shut down those rotations that we saw Joystick in order to create quite a few angles, or excuse me, quite a few free kills, quite a few people, as you just saw right there. But overall, Team Empire looking extremely dominant on border.
Big shout out to our production team. These great replays as well, giving us a full vision of all these kills that are sometimes a little bit harder to track down in Siege there, as we got to see exactly how one of those final trades played out. So big ups to them for helping us out, bring those features to the table here. Now on to our next round, however. We will continue to move on and see if Empire can solidify this map with a defense, or if Team Secret still has that fight left and they come so close on so many rounds. But that's often been the story throughout this series. They can trade out kills, they can bring it close, but if we look back at Bank, the problem is starting to surface here on border as well, and that they cannot close out a lot of these closer situations, and that may be their ultimate pitfall if they don't start to correct it quickly here at the beginning of the second half.
Well, again, we've talked about quite often how these early gunfights have really spelt what's going to happen during the round, and that continues. Team Empire, for the most part of the offensive half, were able to get those initial kills. Sometimes it was messed up by the likes of Leon, who was literally throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Empire, and they were not able to battle back. And EMP will get rid of one of those pests by the likes of Shepard, so Secret now going to be able to get some information inside of CCTV. Again, I'm not going to say it all again, but CCTV, an extremely important room, and that is more than likely going to be the main focal point for Team Secret. If you get CCTV, you can control a lot of the upstairs and really shut down any rotate Team Empire wants to try and perform.
So Secret start things out relatively quiet. The first minute of the round is almost completely gone by, and besides opening up a few doors and maybe pushing in towards the east stairwell, we don't have a whole lot of control gained just yet from Secret, but that's part of the course. That's kind of what we expect in these matches. Lems may have a read onto what's around the corner from him there, but without a peek, I don't think he's going to be able to confirm the kill. Could be wrong on that. The angle's a bit tricky on the upside down rappel. Dan is sitting over here in the offices waiting for that push. Well, here is the drone. He's gonna be able to pretty much like telepathically spot where it's at as he takes it down there. That elimination here. Dan, once again, trying to take an angle. They know they're gonna have a fight for it here if they try to walk in. So there we go, but no, they go right into Dan. It's even simpler now, but Leon also makes the run down the hallway to try on it. Dan, we're going crazy here. Leon finds his own personal second, and then a third, too, on top of that. Leon, what are you doing, my man? Scyther now gonna try to bring this back against him along with Joystick, but a massive advantage is gained from Secret early on, and Lems is gonna be able to push it even further. Everything on Scyther now, but he also falls to Lems. Two multi-frags from two separate players on Team Secret. The full house of frags as they pick up yet another round.
Incredible round by Team Secret, and they're going to keep it rolling. You saw the hand signs by Helby. He just wants it to keep going, keep that aggression up. Say the only issue that they had right there was dealing with Dan inside of offices. It was an immediate trade, though. And Leon, of all people, oh my dear Leon, you are performing in spades. It's been truly incredible to watch these two teams battle back and forth, but we still have quite a bit of a road to go. Empire did a great job of holding down CCTV as well. Nobody wanted to peek Dan on that long angle. Again, peeking into somebody that you don't have information on those longer angles, very difficult thing to achieve. Obviously, you can pre-fire, but it's still just a hope, wish, and a prayer that you actually hit the target that you're hoping for. Rest of Secret, though, fantastic to fight out of exactly everything Empire was throwing at them. That amount of pressure that they tried to exert on 90 was truly something to be seen, but immediately Leon finding 3, and Emil's to follow it up.
4-3 now. Team Empire only one more round away from tying it against them. Secret, a strong foothold put up by their two attackers that multi-fragged in the previous round. Now we need to see them continue to build it. Very, very close affair. It's been a quiet game for Meepy, of course, but that's made up for by a lot of the other players. Lems, of course, getting 2/3 of his kills just in the last round alone. Leon, though, still the story here for Team Secret when we talk about fragging potential. And to no surprise, on the other side of the coin, when we look at Empire, it's Joystick and Dan once again in front, as has been part of the course this entire match.
I will say this, though, for Team Secret. Leon's only really been finding rounds few and far between where he's popping off. He's had 2 triple kills throughout this, and that makes up for 6 of his kills. He's only had 1 kill other than that throughout all of the rounds, and we're currently on round 8. So consistency-wise, not really there, but he's coming up really, really big in these moments that they need him.
And at the moment, it's seeming to be enough to keep them in the match. There's a great example of what you were just talking about right there, where this time Leon goes down immediately to Dan with, as far as I can tell, 0 response onto Dan himself. No damage done to anyone from Empire.
The biggest news, though, Blue, is that's all 3 EE1Ds. All of them. They never used a single one. That's a quick tap from Dan. You saw the pre-fire come out from Leon, but as we have the replay, Pharaoh falls as well to the hands of Dan, I believe. Joystick rotates in. Bonkers falls, and Team Empire battling for the CCTV control. I've been doing such a good job. Meepy as well as Lems, the only 2 remaining Team Secret members, tries to get the angle for IQ, but Dan is currently dancing with fate right now. Could possibly eat one of these bullets, but it goes both ways. It's a 2-way street. Team Empire are going to continue to battle for this map control. They don't want to give Team Secret a single chance to try and fight back into this.
Trying to take that duel once again. So far, this has been a flawless round here from Empire here. Again, another masterclass in how they're just able to shut down teams with their aggression towards these areas like CCTV. And as you can see, you're kind of doubling down on CCTV with Shepard's window hold as well. Such a crucial area of the map. Karzeka now going to be able to find a Lems, and it leaves only one still standing here. Meepy, who unfortunately has failed to impact just as much as of yet, trying to work something on a pistol. Nitro Cell gets tossed out. It is denied as Meepy is able to get the kill, but unfortunately for him, Scyther makes the run out onto the balcony seconds later to take him down and secure another round for Empire, and what a solid round it was.
Scyther finally able to find his first 2 kills, and why not make it in round 8? He's actually been pretty influential overall with his utility usage, but now just showing up on the fragging end of things. Finding that last kill, just twisting in the wind. Clap those noisemakers, folks. We still got a little bit of ways to go here, and if you're a Team Secret fan, they could definitely use some of that energy right now.
Ventilation Workshop is going to be our next site as we take a quick look at the replays from the previous round here. And Empire shifting closer and closer to victory at 5-3 right now. They're only 2 more rounds away from shutting out the series and putting themselves into yet another final. Self4 able to pick up that last kill just before the round ended, but was taken out seconds later. So into the next round we go. Hello there. That's a Finka pin. Big Finka fan.
Big
Number
Finka
one,
guy.
apparently. Yeah.
Big Finka guy. He's the only one in the world. That's it. It's just him.
Oh, I don't know. She can be a little bit more useful and ranked, I suppose, every once in a
We've
while.
literally seen Finka less than a handful of times this entire tournament.
Oh, that's pro play, all right? Listen, those are 2 completely different beasts as far as I'm concerned.
Listen here, sir. I'm a diamond inside of my ranked games.
I'm a ranked aficionado, you could say.
Yeah, well, completely different play, obviously, inside of competitive, as we're seeing right now. Some amazing setups from Team Secret. Only played aggressive when they absolutely need to. That long angle from Dan has been so dominant. The last time we saw, it got shut down by Leon, but that prior round, he was able to make practically gold out of every single gunfight that he was gifted from that angle. Did not give Team Secret any of that CCTV control that is so important to that top site, but he's still upstairs take here for Team Secret, as they are going to need that vertical pressure to be able to handle ventilations and workshop.
So, luck rests with Team Secret right now to make the necessary impact in order to take out Team Empire here. It's all falling to their early round once again, as we constantly see Empire strike right then and there. First, the E1D scan going to be working its way into the map now. Not much detection, unfortunately, this time, so Secret won't be able to gather a whole lot of intel off of that, but still 2 more to be used here. So you saw the recent changes to line up his count of E1Ds from 2 to 3.
We are currently 4 people upstairs, 1 down. Shepard is the only man on site. If he dies, no matter how many angles you have upstairs, this could be a plant, but he's got plenty of rotation since he has one for bathroom. I believe he's got a castle barricade on that as well, as Pharaoh will be blowing that open. We could see an impact possibly from Shepard if he does still have one on hand, as he actually doesn't. So he's just going to be playing inside of the bathroom. Dan does have the top angle in case any presence does come in, but they are going to drone him out. More than likely now recognizing out that Shepard is indeed the only person on site. They've established a lot of long angles, but Shepard's gonna win it anyways. What? And he does it again! Meepy falls! Team Empire trying to push this all the way! Pharaoh gets aggressive through bathroom, shuts down Shepard. They do have that map control now that they need, but they don't have the diffuser, and Dan's already rotated back. Another EE1D rings out. Team Secret still down man advantage. Leon will fall as Scyther will put him to his grave. Limbs and Pharaoh, the last 2 alive for Team Secret. Holding angles, waiting for these rotations from Team Empire. They need to try and bring this back to man count. They're getting 1 step closer. Still don't have the diffuser though, as the angles are still held up. It's at the bottom of customs. As you can see, they are picking it up right now. Feral actually gonna get a hot mark from a drone inside of Square, but there's no way for Dan to get inside without ripping down the door. So they've actually more or less messed themselves up with these castle barricades. They have to go through the full animation of ripping it down. The only way they kill this man is from an angle upstairs, or if they drop the hatch. Limbs is going to stick the plant now. Scyther finds him. It's not going to be all left up to Limbs. He's by himself. He has a diffuser, but only 35 seconds and 3 people to find. They're going to try and rotate somebody back inside of sight now to try and handle that situation. A quick drop, and Scyther's more than likely going to find him. And that's a Limbs. Team Empire, excuse me. Map, match, everything point to get to Sunday, Championship Sunday, tomorrow.
And that's the hallmark point we want to leave this on now as we get ready to go into what could be the final round. Empire, man, when they start out the round with control, it's very unlikely they're going to lose that as it shifts later on into the round. Secret absolutely have to find these early picks, or at a minimum, utilize utility correctly enough to force Empire into the site. Unfortunately, with the 2-dimensional or with the 3-dimensional play, you often need to see a team like Empire deploy to win on these sites. That's a very difficult thing to kill, so you have to fall back on kills themselves in order to make your impact noted on a map like this. We do have a pause coming in. I believe it would be from the Team Secret side of things at this point, as they absolutely have to figure out a way to get some better control on these opening few minutes of the attacking rounds.
As of right now, the feel from Team Secret is that their focus isn't centralized. They're focused on multiple areas of the map at the same time, whereas we'll see Team Empire isolate out rooms continuously until they have the map pressure that they want. Team Secret really hasn't been able to accomplish that same thing. They've been rotating a lot of people downstairs as well as up at the exact same time, and it's been getting them punished because they don't have those proper trades to be able to swap out with Empire. And that's put Empire in the lead quite a few times. They even recognized out that Shepard was the only person on site, but Shepard was still able to find 2 kills when there should have been no way in hell that he could possibly achieve that, especially getting EE1D'd where he can't move unless he wants to get marked, but in those gunfights where you want to swing, he obviously took that. It doesn't obviously do damage, as that would be completely broken when you move. It's just quite a bit of intelligence for a little amount of time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, this could be it. Empire sits on the precipice of greatness once again. Only one more round needed to push them into the grand final. Secret want to stop that, though. This is a team with such a great story over the past few months. They're very unfortunate. Removal from Pro League after they were unfortunately dropped out of it due to a lack of performance. They brought it back to immediately reconvince their fans of their success when they won the Vegas Minor. That brought them here to Raleigh at this event, and now they've made it all the way to the semifinals, facing off against one of the strongest teams in Siege currently. It may be proving a little bit too much for them to go up against, but if they can leverage these next 3 rounds and send us to overtime, they will still have a chance to send themselves onto the grand final. If not, it'll be the Russian Machines doing it once again, as that potential rematch will continue to look more and more likely, with G2 and 4s fighting in the next match.
For this round, once again, Secret just needs to pick and choose exactly what they want on this map. It's not a smorgasbord. You just want to go for the areas that are important, and you want to isolate that out with your entire team. Quick note, though, with a win, Empire would advance to their 3rd consecutive grand final, a first by any team other than G2. What do you know? G2 does a lot of things. Kind of crazy. Team Secret, though, seems to be focusing their sights on Office, trying to get rid of Dan, as he's been playing there quite often. They do have radio window open, but we also have Feral sitting on like the 90 point on the southwest balcony. First EE1D comes through. Leon's just hopping into sight right now, or at least upstairs, excuse me. So we are on the downstairs site. Joystick going to recognize that out. Dan's still inside of Offices, as they do have a chance to isolate this lane down, though. Joystick knows it, pre-fires. Leon falls, and 2 EE1Ds still in the pocket as well. That's a huge pick. Feral to try and battle back. Gonna take quite a bit of damage, and he's got Diffuser. Feral's planting right now. They need to try and get to sight. They have to help him. Feral gets shut down by Scyther. That's Diffuser down on the floor. Empire has everything they need to try and pick up this round. Another shot by Joystick. Limbs and Fonker's the only 2 remaining. Fonker's trying to battle back. Shepard puts it down to 1. It's all left up to Fonkers. He has a Diffuser. He's inside of stock, but they have every angle they possibly need and all the information in the world to try and battle back. He's actually rotating all the way upstairs. Does Joystick know he's near? No. Fonkers shuts him down. Still needs to find 2 more kills. That would be a quad on the site. Excuse me, on this round for Fonkers, if he was able to do it. Dan going to dock himself up as well. As he does drop. Fonkers the only one inside of small office. Nobody home currently. A pre-fire comes out, but he's not going to meet Dan. Shepard still playing inside of work office as well, or excuse me, workshop. So let's rotate at the bottom of metal. Has a quick shot, and it's Shepard as Empire go to the best of 5 on Sunday.
And make it once again to yet another grand final. Team Empire, the Russian Machines, they are unstoppable as they push onward into a grand final. Once again, a great fight put up by Team Secret, but it is not enough at the end of the day. They fall in the semifinals. A great achievement for themselves, but not enough to make it to our best of 5, as once again, Team Empire claims that honor to be our first grand finalist here at the 6 Major Raleigh.
An impressive match nonetheless. Ladies and gents, I know a lot of you were rooting for Team Secret, but please, please give a round of applause for these 2 fantastic teams that are making your Saturday so damn entertaining.
Absolutely the case. An amazing game of adjustments, too, between these 2 teams, Empire and Secret, constantly playing a game of wits with each other, and it made for an incredibly entertaining match due to that very fast, very aggressive style that we often see those teams deploying into these rounds. Empire, though, has become the masters of it over the last year now, and we see exactly why by those last rounds. Absolutely shutting down every attempt from Secret to work their way into the building, even the attempt to ninja plant on the inside of the site, which unfortunately sent Secret's boat down the river a little bit too early for themselves. They were unable to recover it, unable to leverage back that final 1v3, and Empire, it was easy just shutting it down from that point forward.
Again, it was those early gunfights that just punished Team Secret a lot. They were losing that early pressure that they were looking for, especially on border. We could not see them get a foothold that they wanted on the offense, and it just seemed to all fall apart.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back down to Golden Boy, though, with an interview with our winner.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Guys, give it up one more time for both of these teams. What a semifinal that was. I talked to you yesterday, my friend, and I asked you, I said, you know, what was something that you wanted to work on, and did you feel good about that win? It was a tough win against FaZe, and you said, no, we want to get back, we want to get better. What did you guys do to fuel yourself, to get ready for surely what was an incredible matchup today?
Yeah, so after a match versus the FaZe clan, we realized that we came into this matchup like with a mentality that we must win this match. But we just chilled out, and before the match versus Team Secret, we just decided that we need to come into this match and enjoy playing the game. So we haven't like put the task that we must win this match. We just wanted to enjoy the game, and yeah, that's it.
Well, it's always a plus, man. Always a plus when you go out there and you have a good time. And it seemed like you guys certainly having a good time, especially in map 1. But then map 2, you know, you go to Coastline, and things started to get a little out of hand for you guys. What happened in that game? What did Secret do that just really rattled you guys and didn't allow you to get your footing and get back into that match?
I guess when they lost the first map, they realized that they need to do something new. They need to like take risky fights, risky gunfights. So everything, they peaked everything. They beat us in every gunfight. So that's actually it. Coastline is more like the firepower map. So if you're not winning gunfights, you're not winning the map. So.
Fair enough. They were able to rally back and take that win. But then, you know, we move on to map 3. Huge opportunity for you guys now. You're going to be moving on to the grand finals. And most importantly, you're awaiting the winner of our upcoming game, which is going to be FORS versus G2 Esports. Now, we know that you're familiar with this G2 team, but I want to ask you a question. Would you rather go up against your countrymen and have something that we haven't really been treated to in a Russia v. Russia final, or would you rather take out what many consider to be the best team in the world?
Would have been nice to see 2 Russian people in an A major, but we want to beat G2, so we hope G2 will win this.
Hey man, spoken like a champion. Krzyzewska, thank you so much for your time, my friend. Thank you once again. Guys, give it up for Team Empire. They're moving on to the grand finals, and they're going to await the winner of FORS and G2. Let's send it back over to the studio to break it all down.